No Life Digital Podcast. That's right, baby. Every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the No Life Digital channel. Head over to our YouTube, No Life Digital, and our Twitter, twitter.com/NoLifeDigital. We also have a website, nolife.digital, which you can see right here. All our podcasts, you can just go here. All our articles, videos go up here. Podcast here if you ever want to catch the latest show. You got subscribe links here, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as well as all the other podcatchers. And tune in. We've also been doing a non-scheduled camera talk show, me and Jerry, where we discuss the latest in the camera industry called No Mirror, and that's also on the podcast network. So just subscribe if you want to stay updated on that. The reason why we don't have a schedule for that is we just do shows whenever there's news. It's not there's not camera news every week. So we try to cover it as much as we can in this show, but for the most part, we're going to be doing it in that show. So today, there's so much news. Tech-Tember is here. It's upon us. There's a lot going on. First things first, we have some games to talk about. Doobie's been playing Hades and Astral Chain. I've been playing what is it called? Why can't I remember the name? NBA 2K. We're going to get into Cyberpunk specs. We're going to get into Microsoft acquiring ZeniMax Media, which is the Bethesda parent company. We're going to get into some other gaming news going down. And then in tech, NVIDIA acquires ARM. NVIDIA is killing SLI. The iPad Air was released along with the Apple Watch, but we're not really going to talk about the Apple Watch. The RTX 3080 was released. There's Radeon 6900 news. There's Canon R5C news. There's Canon C70 news. There's Sony A7 IV and A7 quote-unquote R5 news. And that's pretty much it to start the show. Lots of big tech items, big ticket items coming in the world of tech. And I think it's just beginning. The next couple of weeks, we're going to see an onslaught of some new stuff. Some of these rumors being figured out if they're true or not. All right. Let's jump into it. Well, you didn't want to talk about the Apple Watch, or you do want to talk about the Apple Watch?
Yep. No, we just chose like the worst week to skip, basically.
I know, there was so much. So sorry about last week. Last week I was in the Poconos for my birthday. I am now 30 years old. How crazy is that?
Happy birthday, old man.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, man, it feels bad. Feels bad, man. So I was in the Poconos having a good old time there, and then the week before that, I was doing another podcast that took priority. But now we're here. We got a lot of news to cover, a lot of ground to go for, and let's do it. And I do want to start changing the show format. I don't know if it's going to be next week or the week after, but I do want to change the show format. I want it to be streamlined. I always streamline my podcasts somewhere down the road. I think we're due for streamlining here. We've been through how many fucking episodes have we done?
We always try that, and it works for like 3 weeks, and then it turns into a 3-hour show again.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the longer episodes, but I think we cover too much sometimes. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. All right.
No, I would relate that to the SE, or the iWatch. We probably won't cover it, but I want an SE, kind of.
Yeah. We could touch on it a little bit. I am curious to know what you think. All right, so let's just start. Let's go forth. Doobie, you've been playing Hades and Astral Chain. Let's hear a bit. What are your thoughts on? I've played both of these games. I've beaten both of these games. What are your thoughts on these games?
I'll start with Astral Chain because it's the one I just beat. I liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. The aesthetics are phenomenal. Like, I really like the cyberpunk setting. The characters are okay. The legions themselves were pretty cool. The mechanic they add at the end of the game where you phenomenal fuse with your legion is great. My mic's still good?
Yeah, you're good. That was my bad.
Okay. The fusion with the legion where you like do the fusion thing, I thought they added it way too late because it's such a cool mechanic, but you really only get like maybe 3 chances to use it.
Wait, what are you talking about again?
When you hit both bumpers down, like both right and left stick down, and you do like your crazy Wolverine shit.
Yeah.
Where you become like the overpowered fusion.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool mechanic. If they make a second one, which I hope they do, I would like that mechanic to be like a lot earlier and have it different for each legion instead of just being, oh, this is just your one fusion technique. Be like, all right, no, here's your fusion with the arrow one. Here's your fusion with the legion one.
Yeah.
That system, I think, needs to be expanded more, but it was a really cool system when they introduced it, but it was just too late. Combat's like the best part of the game is the combat. It's such a fluid and frenetic where you can beat the game without mastering it, but really getting a handle of the combat makes it really fun.
Yeah.
Overall, the story, not its strongest suit. The story was okay. I think like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I would agree.
Definitely carried heavy by its combat and its aesthetic and its music. Story and characters were a little weak, but the combat was just that good.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's my opinion on Astral Chain.
I
Hades,
actually didn't like in Astral Chain. Now that I think about it, I didn't like the way that the maps were kind of set up. It was a little too, I don't know. They just weren't very explorative. You know what I mean?
The astral plane itself was really cool the first time. By the 15th to 20th time, you're in the same kind of
grid area,
dark and red astral plane. Like by the last final fight where it's all white, I'm like, that's cool. I really think that needed more variety. It was just too samey the entire playthrough.
Yeah, I agree. But
the
cityscapes
cityscapes though were cool. Like those environments, like going around the city, going into like the ARI building.
Yeah.
Going into like the Zone 9, those were the best parts. I wanted to be more in the real world than in the astral plane.
Well, I just kept thinking like, damn, if this was on PS4 or Xbox, this would have been a much bigger game and bigger experience, and I think it would have served it a little bit better.
I don't know if actually I like that one being a bit of a shorter experience. I didn't need I don't need a Nier Automata with that. I don't need it to be a sprawling game with 27 endings.
Yeah.
I feel like the short experience serves it better. Especially with a lackluster story. The worst thing that game could have been was to be longer.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want it longer. I just want it a little bit bigger. I felt it was kind of very safe and like simple. It's like here, point A to point B, and then fight the boss.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what Platinum does. Like Bayonetta was very much the same. It's kind of the pitfall of the action genre.
Yeah.
You know, apparently, I mean, like, so the people who worked on it were some of the people that worked on Nier Automata, but you could tell that Nier Automata's story was definitely handled by a different crew.
I mean, to me, they feel like completely different games too.
Oh, absolutely.
They feel the same, like the combat kind of feels the same, but I think Nier is just a far better experience overall. The whole package was good.
That's Platinum's that's their forte is combat and action.
Yeah. But I did like Astral Chain a lot.
Like I said, I hope they make a sequel. Like I'd like to see an Astral Chain 2. If they can build upon the blocks that they've already set up in the first game and just make it a better game.
Mom, I want a vape.
Then I'm totally down for it.
What about Hades? I fucking love Hades. I haven't played it on Switch though.
Okay, I'm a Supergiant fan. So I really liked Bastion, and Transistor is one of my top favorite indie games of all time.
Yeah.
So I got into this one when they released the 1.0. I had not played any of the early access. I'd always seen it, but I never dove into early access. I usually don't dive into that kind of style thing. Like I'd rather wait for the game to be done. I've been playing it. The loop is addictive. It is an addicting loop of going in. The way they do it is each time you die, you still get stronger. So I like that progression system where you don't just die and, all right, well, I got to start from the beginning with nothing. No, each time you go through it, you get stronger at it. Apparently, they've changed the ending, so you actually have to beat the final boss 10 times to get the true ending, which gives it very good replayability. The voice acting is good. The characters are great, like all of the gods, all of the kind of sub-characters, all the other characters that are in Hades, like Achilles, Nyx, the Medusa head. They're all really well written. All the lines are really cool. And the soundtrack is great. Darren Korb, who's the composer for Supergiant Games, who did Bastion and Transistor, also did the soundtrack for this, and also voices the main character, which I thought was really interesting.
Dude, the main character's voice is so good.
Yeah, and that's actually the composer's voice. That's Darren Korb.
All the voices are great. All the voices are excellent.
Yeah. So I mean, I've unlocked I think most of the weapons. I think I have all the weapons now. I just unlocked the gun. I think was the last one I unlocked.
Yeah.
There's so much customization. There's so much that you can do, and that's like not even including the duo skills that you get when two gods give you their combined skill. It's been a blast to play.
Yeah. It's fucking so fun and addicting. I love it. I love everything about it. I love the art. I love roguelikes. This is one of my favorite roguelikes. Easily. And for it to be on Switch, I'm so pumped to get it. The reason I haven't gotten it on Switch is I've already played so many hours of it. I'm just like, I'll get to it.
It has cross saves, but they're not available yet.
Oh, really?
There is a button for cross saves on the main menu.
There's just not.
But
there.
it says that when you click it, that it will be coming in a forthcoming update.
Yeah.
Might have to get the Switch version because I didn't even
I
think it's on the Switch.
Yeah, it just came out.
Well, yeah, they launched the 1.0 on Switch, so like it was in early access on PC.
Right.
But then
And
once they fully
launched
released
everywhere.
it don't. No, I think it's only on Switch and PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not on PlayStation or Xbox.
I also know there's another game that's similar to it that's been in early access for a while, and it's similar if you guys want to check it out. It's not on Switch, but I'm wondering if they're going to do a Switch port since this is probably going to do really well on the Switch. It's called Curse of the Dead Gods. I talked about it on here. It kind of combines Hades with Dark Souls. It's really fucking good. And I mean, these type of roguelikes I can just dump so many hours into. Hades I spent so many hours in. And it's just, you can always go in and try to like do some crazy builds or find these crazy ways to kind of get through it. And you have like this excellent slow burning story behind it. It's really fucking good. If you have a few bucks, I highly recommend you check it out.
I think.
How much was it on
Hades
Switch? 30?
No, it's usually 25, but it
Is
was
it
on
20?
sale for 20%, so I got it for $20.
20.
Yeah.
It's on sale for 20 on PC too.
Highly
Yeah,
recommend for 20
it was
bucks.
the sales on both.
And
I will say
I'm gonna buy it. Fuck it. I'm not a
I would
big
say
roguelike person, but this
easily
looks
worth
good.
the 20. Easily worth the 20.
Yeah.
And then like it's one of those things where we were talking about. I think we were talking a couple weeks ago, but like who would you put at your top of your like, maybe not your Mount Rushmore, but like your top 5 indie companies.
Oh,
Supergiant is easily up there. Like if I think at this point,
Yeah.
like especially if I think isometric, Bastion, Transistor in this game have all been isometric, but they've all been so unique.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it
And
is about Supergiant, but they always go for that art style.
Like the Bastion and Transistor basically like made indies relevant again,
Yeah.
like almost single-handedly.
Bastion for sure.
I just started playing Bastion again on my iPad, and it's like it holds up. You know what I mean?
My favorite song from that game, and it's like a song that I will always, whenever it pops on, it's like in my head. It's just, Spike on a Rail.
Yeah.
That
I
is
will
one of
also
my
throw
favorite
out-
tracks.
I will also throw out there is 27,000 reviews, 20,000 and a half reviews on Steam. It has a 98% positivity rating.
Yeah,
For Hades?
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's pretty
it's actually it's been a very popular stream game. I don't know whether it sits on Twitch's stream,
Yeah.
but a lot of big people have been playing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Which
been a
is funny
blast.
because like you think of all the AAA games, and
None of them have ever gotten a 98.
none of them ever
after
got
a
a
while.
98. But like it's funny to me, like especially with the last couple weeks,
Especially when this was
of-
early access.
Yeah,
This wasn't even complete.
This is probably the best early access game that's happened in a long time, if not ever, based off of ratings. at
Well, I
least.
would say Dead Cells is probably the only sort of close one that to reach that acclaim, really, where it was just universally loved until it was released and still universally loved.
True. Dead Cells is 96.
Yeah, this is on that level. Now, I think Dead Cells is better. I like the combat loop and I just like the gameplay loop of Dead Cells more than this game, but it doesn't have the same sort of like super giant feel to it that this game has. So they both kind of sit next to each other for me. They're just so fucking, they're just excellent indie games that literally spend thousands of hours in. It's really, really cool. Go pick it up. $20. That's you can't pass that up. So how far are you, Doobie?
I've gotten as far as Elysium, but I haven't gotten to the boss of Elysium yet.
Okay.
2 weapons I've gotten the diamond with, which is beating the Medusa, not the Medusa, the Bone Hydra.
Yeah.
I've done all the Titan Bloods with all the weapons, so I've gotten past Tartarus with all the weapons. I'm like focusing on just getting keys to unlock the rest of the mirror. Having more dashes has been really good. I don't really use the cast much, so I haven't really focused on putting much into that.
You would only really use that for like certain builds. You can use the cast a lot, but I don't really use it that much either.
Yeah, fists have been really good with. I like to go with the Dionysus build with like the hangover.
Yeah.
Poison damage. But from what I've seen, the shield with the upgrade shield where it like stays out, tied with a Zeus lightning strike, has been a really good build.
Yeah, the shield is awesome.
Yeah, I generally stick away from Hermes stuff because Hermes, I think, might be like one of the worst. Like it's all movement speed and stuff like that, but I'm usually dashing all over the place and not really moving around much.
Yeah. All right, cool, good shit. Two dope games. Would you classify Platinum as an indie developer?
No,
not
anymore. No,
not with the games they've done. They've done Metal Gear Rising.
I was gonna say once you've done
Vengeance.
at least 3 Metal Gear games, no.
Sure.
Yeah, and then Bayonetta. I don't consider Bayonetta to be indie. It's like right, maybe AA, but
Yeah, because they're not really AAA either, but like you don't get. They're in that spot where like once you start getting handed off franchise series games, you're not really.
You're paying
like an indie
$60
studio
for Platinum games, okay?
Yeah.
But I was thinking,
yeah.
Is CD Projekt Red even considered indie anymore?
Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
That's AAA.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Speaking of Cyberpunk, we got the specs. Here are these specs. So the minimum required specs as per CD Projekt Red, a Core i5 3570K or an FX 8310, a GTX 780 or an RX 470, 8 gigs of RAM, 70 gig storage, and that's pretty much it. Which is shockingly minimal.
I want to see what the game looks like at settings.
I actually like this because that is probably actually the minimum you'll be able to get like 10 FPS at.
Yeah, that's
which
what I
is
want to see.
technically playable, but everyone's normal. Because this used to be a thing when I was like younger and when PC games were still really first coming out and stuff like that. I would like remember like running home getting Warcraft 3 and it was my computer was not up to minimum specs, but I still made it work.
Yeah.
It was like 22 frames and chugging, but I played Warcraft 3 forever, dude.
Yeah, like 1074 by 540 or whatever that resolution was.
Yeah, just what resolution? If I got to turn it all the way to like 320, I'll do it, dude, as long as I can play it.
Yeah. Yeah, I am very curious to see how this is going to run at these specs. I'm sure someone's going to do that video because everyone saw this for like, wow, GTX 780. But to be honest,
this is lower specs than WoW.
That's insane.
Even the recommended specs are like,
yeah,
my build is still over that.
Yeah, recommended i7 4790, Ryzen 3 320, a GTX 1060 or an R9.
This is your old build.
Yeah, this is my old build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even my current build.
No, this is the build you replaced. Basically,
I will say, even with these settings, if I try to stream it, it's gonna be terrible.
Oh yeah. What?
I don't think
it really depends on what settings.
I would probably have to switch to regular OBS Studio and not Streamlabs OBS to do it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Streamlabs OBS is heavier on the CPU usage.
Oh, that's fair because that is the downside running Intel, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am I'm very curious. I hopefully will get a 3080 by the time this gets released.
Oh, the scalpers.
I know we'll
Oh,
get into
dude.
that.
Well, okay. I will say, no one is actually buying cards off eBay. If you actually think people are buying
no,
cards off eBay, you're
if you
wrong.
see the cards, and I mean, we can get into this in tech, but if you see the cards on eBay that have $10,000 bids on them, those are not real bids.
Nope.
Somebody wrote a bot.
No, multiple people have been
Yeah.
this pissed off that they've literally just made accounts tied to like $20 prepaid visas and just writing script bots to go through every 3080 on eBay and just being like, add 5,000 to bid.
Yeah.
And then there's been cases of about 4 of them actually getting into bidding wars. I've seen a 3080 for 80 grand.
Oh my god. A bot bidding war.
Yeah, and it's like, no one's ever going to see that money.
Fuck these scalpers.
And like they were all smart enough to not attach it to
No,
their
no,
name
no.
or anything. It's a fucking prepaid Visa card. PayPal's never getting the money.
No, these scalpers, they provide a very valuable service, and that is getting these developers and these manufacturers to fucking up their game. Because you can't get anything. You can't get a fucking camera. You can't get a fucking PS5. You can't get a fucking graphics card. You can't
You
get a
can buy an
fucking
Xbox.
iPad. I tried. I couldn't get one. I was a little too late.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
Xbox has also got hit on the GameStop,
that was a joke because there was a story that also came out after the Xbox came out today that at least 400 people accidentally just bought an original Xbox.
I don't know
damn.
if you see it, put it in the news. The Xbox One X sales.
Yeah,
were
the
up
Xbox One X.
747%.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, is that
They pulled the
Microsoft's
Wii
like
U. They
that's
pulled the
that,
fucking Wii U name scheme.
that's a good idea, dude. Fuck it.
So
Like
many
it,
confusing parents are gonna buy the wrong console.
yeah, why not, man? That's fucking great.
God.
Oh god.
Microsoft been hanging out with Nintendo way too much.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm glad you added that in the news because that was the joke.
I was trying to get I was trying to pre-order 3080 and it wasn't happening, dude. And then
Dude, I don't care because I'm not going to pre-order anything that expensive. I never will.
I'm not even
I don't
pre-ordering a
get it.
PS5.
Yeah, well, no, like I mean, like a graphics card, no, because I'm gonna wait for Gamers Nexus to give me like 10 reviews of different cards, and I'm gonna wait for a different one anyways.
I don't see
It's
the,
like the same thing with cameras.
I don't see the need for a PS5 quite yet, only because they've already announced. Oh yeah, by the way, Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is coming to PS4. Marvel, the Miles Morales is coming to PS4. So I'm like, okay, when do you have an actual exclusive only to PS5 game?
Yeah.
Then I'll buy your system.
well, supposedly
For-
it came
God of War
out.
2.
I'm like that with consoles. I never buy year one.
God of War
I
2
didn't buy the
will
Switch
probably be
year
the
one.
first exclusive, and
Didn't
I'm
buy
like,
any
okay,
of
I'll
them.
get that.
Supposedly Microsoft has more console exclusives than PS5 right now. It's
They
been
probably do.
it's been
And we'll get
stated.
into that later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty
see
insane.
how much money they spent.
I'm still okay.
Whew.
I'm in spec. I was trying to look this up. One sec. Okay, the base minimum requirements for World of Warcraft are pretty much the exact same as Cyberpunk.
Can I say 70 gigs? That is less than an update to fucking
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
That optimization has to be insane.
I mean, yes, but it's also a single player game. It's not. You can be whatever size you want it to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
don't
true.
have to have-
Yeah,
it's
that's
also
true.
Call of Duty is also terribly unoptimized.
No,
True.
it's pretty optimized, dude. Call of Duty's
But I
pretty
mean, like
optimized.
even WoW is still only 100 gigs nowadays, and that's with 8 fucking expansions.
Warzone
on
is
it.
like 100. Warzone would take my SSD. I do need to buy a new SSD for this game. I will say that.
I was sure this was
Yeah.
going to be over 100 gigs, but they did it under, so that's pretty good.
I mean, no, that's awesome, but
Did they say that you
I'm
don't
less
need an
shocked
SSD,
for
but
single player games to not be as nearly as big as you thought they'll be.
how slow is it gonna load on a regular HDD?
Not that bad. Like honestly,
So,
it
Red
won't be
Dead-
that bad. If you can put it on your SSD, definitely do it. But like, it really depends on. Again, we haven't really seen how much of the game. How much is load screens?
When's
Because
the game
that's
come
the
out?
only
Supposedly
thing
there's
that's gonna.
none. There's no loading screens.
Yeah, then it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like it'll take longer to launch the game, but that will have no. If they're saying you only need like a standard hard drive, That will have no impact on your actual gameplay once you're in the game if it's on a regular hard drive, though.
So if Red Dead 2 was 150 gigabytes, it's double the size, more than double the size of Cyberpunk. And Red Dead is pretty fucking big, so I'm curious to know how much.
It is, but then it also has to double the size because of multiplayer.
True, and I'm wondering what the size, like how that size is gonna compare to Red Dead's size in terms of the world. From what I've seen, it looks insane. So I don't know. I can't wait to get my hands on it, man. This game is getting so fucking hype. Everything that we've seen from it.
Fucking CD Projekt Red, dude.
I know.
And that's why we can't call them an indie studio, because like you can't make The Witcher 3 and then be an indie studio.
Yeah, true, but
It comes out 1 week before Black Friday.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I'm tempted to wait until Black Friday just to get a good deal on an SSD.
For your PC or for your?
I mean,
what are you gonna get it on? PC?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm getting a PC.
Are you gonna need an SSD for a PC for your PC?
I mean, Let's see. Let me look at my storage at the moment.
Do you not have a PC or an SSD?
I have two. I have an SSD, but my operating system is on my SSD.
Oh,
how big are you looking for?
I have currently 70 gigs free on my SSD.
Right. Okay. Like, I'm saying, like, what size hard drive do you want? That's what I'm asking.
If I'm gonna look for an SSD, anywhere between 512 to 1 terabyte, probably.
Yeah, I would get like
a
terabyte.
That's easy as shit, dude.
Get like a terabyte.
I've been buying 512s for like $40 lately.
Yeah, you should find it pretty cheap, and then you just swap them right in there.
Admittedly, those are bad ones, but
actually, let me delete some stuff.
You can buy
any bad
terabyte
SSD
external for $100.
Yeah, but any bad SSD is still gonna be like 30 times better than an H hard drive.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's why I buy the cheap ones. Like I buy the cheap ones for game storage, just because it's like, shit, if that ever fails, like, oh no, dude, I have to re-download my game.
Video files take so much space. I just deleted.
I personally would get an SSD for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I want to get it for like more. I want to put more games on my SSD in general, but I can't put anything on my current because I just don't want to. With only 70 gigs free, I don't.
No, leave that for your operating system.
Yeah, like my current regular drive still has.
Oh yeah, I literally leave my operating system on its own 256 NVMe drive.
Same.
And I don't put anything on it.
Same.
Yeah, the nice thing is I have the NZXT case that makes installing SSDs like one of the easiest things on the planet. It literally. Just
it's easy now, man. You just plug them in like Legos.
No, you literally plug it in, but like even like
it's like a memory card.
Bay is just a slot. I can just slide it in.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Studio Ghibli released 400 free-to-use images on their website. So if you guys
That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. If you like Ghibli artwork, they just dropped like a shitload of fucking images. So here's Spirited Away. You can just, it's so cool. They're high res. They look great. I just love Ghibli artwork. So feel free to use all these ones. Do whatever you want with them.
Even if you're not into weeb stuff, like Studio Ghibli's fucking phenomenal.
Oh, there's no Kiki's delivery service.
For just art, like it's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Microsoft. All right, Microsoft acquires Animax Media. Of course, this is Bethesda. What do you guys think of this?
This is nutty.
7.5 billion. It's theirs now.
Also a nutty fucking price.
Really, really nutty.
The funniest thing to me is
they're still honoring
Microsoft bought Obsidian.
Exclusives. True.
Obsidian made Outer Wilds,
True.
right? Outer Wilds.
Who made
Outer
Fallout?
Worlds. One of
Who
the
made
two.
Fallout New Vegas?
Yeah.
And Outer Wilds or Worlds or whatever the name of that game was.
Worlds.
Outer Worlds was hailed as like the new Fallout.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great game.
And now them and Bethesda are sister companies
Yep.
under the Microsoft brand.
Hey.
That's awesome.
What is going on?
Maybe Microsoft can make them actually make a good Fallout game again.
Yeah, maybe they'll make New Vegas too.
I don't know if that'll ever happen, but
no, because they made New Vegas. They made New Vegas with the old original Fallout people. I don't know if they're still with
wait, let me ask you,
Obsidian anymore.
Do you think they bought this so they could make Fallout, like a good Fallout?
Probably.
They acquired Bethesda.
I would assume if you're buying ZeniMax, you would hope that Bethesda will learn how to make a good Fallout again. Yeah.
Do you think they
But
bought
don't
him
they
for
learn how to make not buggy
specifically?
games on release?
Well, do you think they bought him specifically to kind of make a good Fallout, whatever the Fallout that they?
Oh,
produced?
not specifically. No, no.
So no,
I'm
they
just
didn't
saying
specifically bought
that,
for one
like-
franchise. No,
Right, right. But that is a weird plus that those two,
But-
your two big studios have past history of developing for each other.
Yeah,
So-
I think I don't think it's a coincidence. I think they're gonna really ride out
Here-
on a big
here's
Fallout
one of the
release.
things though about
That
Microsoft
could
buying
be
Bethesda.
amazing.
Yeah, Microsoft buying Bethesda also gives them not just Fallout, not just Elder Scrolls 6.
If we see Elder Scrolls become full exclusives, that would be fucking
And
wild.
they've now owned Doom because
Yep.
it's software. It was under Bethesda.
Elder- Elder Scrolls.
A list of now Wolfenstein series is now
Yep.
Microsoft.
Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls, we said that. They've already said that. I think they
Next
said all
Elder Scrolls is
Bethesda
going to be
games-
an Xbox exclusive or Microsoft
I
exclusive.
don't.
It'll be a Microsoft exclusive. It's gonna.
So
be
you'll get it on
I don't
PC
think
or
it'll be
Xbox?
exclusive. And here's
I don't.
why.
I don't either because they're gonna lose. They'd lose too much money just doing that.
One, they'd lose too much money. I wouldn't.
I
put
don't
it
think they
past
would.
them
What
to
if it's
either
exclusive?
No, I could see them doing. They're gonna make exclusive games, but like
Timed
those.
exclusive,
Okay, yeah.
where then after a year it'll go to PlayStation or go to, but it'll also be on PC as well.
And it'd also be Game
Because they're
Pass.
going to want to sell software. Out of all of this, they want
Yeah.
to sell
They're-
as
yeah.
much software as possible to
These
make
are-
as much money as possible.
You're gonna get
See,
Doom.
that
You're gonna
it's-
get
it's-
Fallout. You're gonna get Elder Scrolls, Wolfenstein, Dishonored,
You'll get
all on
of
Games
those
Pass.
games day one on Games Pass.
That's fucking
That's gonna be
huge.
huge.
That's so sick, dude. Microsoft is killing it.
They have now made Games Pass almost a requirement to have as a gamer.
I'm telling you, Games Pass is the
Yeah, I wouldn't
best
say
deal.
requirement, but it keeps.
If you want to play
keeps
some of
adding
these
up,
You
dude.
want to play a lot of these AAA games, and now that
It
they own
already
them, so
pays
they
for
can
itself.
guarantee day one Games Pass access.
And if you're
That's big.
if you're a PC person too, and you have like the full thing, like Paradox puts everything out there. I
Yep.
will say though, Paradox, it's a bait and switch. So you can get any Paradox game, but you can only get the standard base game that in 2 months will be $20. But the $300 of DLC you have to pay for.
Yeah, I kind of understand that. I mean, they
No, I know, but it's one of those like, I love it, but I also like, man, PS based games
And-
usually suck.
Yeah.
To Microsoft has also said that all of the games that are PS5 exclusive that they've now pretty much own, like
Will stay exclusive.
Deathloop, Ghostwire Tokyo, they
Why?
will.
Why would they
stay-
do that?
They will stay exclusive.
Why would they
Because
do that?
because if they didn't, that would be anti-consumer that would be anti-consumer to the consumers that already bought those products for those systems and are now told you can't get them.
So those games are already on
There are-
pre-order.
Yeah, so Microsoft, I believe so. So Microsoft is pretty much honoring those commitments. I mean, they're going to get money from the sales anyway, so they're fine with that. And I did believe.
And
that
those
Phil
games
Spencer
are
came
never
out and
coming to
said-
Xbox.
Don't know about that one. That might have to come down to contract. But
Because-
they did say that games being exclusive to the Xbox brand will be a quote unquote case by case basis.
They're not.
Which
They're
means
going to be
they're-
exclusive.
No, I don't know. I don't think most. I think they will make
I
some
think
new
time
ones that
exclusives-
are gonna be exclusive. I could see time exclusive, but some of them I don't even see time exclusive. You can't say like you can't make the next version of fucking Skyrim and then just be like, yeah, we're only gonna sell a third of the copies.
Yeah,
They'd be
that's
leaving
true.
money straight up on the table, and that's just bad for business. Because
Yeah,
nobody's
like-
gonna run out and buy a PS5 for Elder Scrolls 6.
Like Sky,
But-
I don't
you have
know, though.
Like you have a
That's huge.
Skyrim type game that's on the scale of like GTA of like, yeah, dude, there's only 300 million fucking copies sold. If it's just only on Xbox, you're gonna get fucking 10 million of that.
I
I mean, you're
Somebody
gonna get more.
get-
You're gonna get
wonder-
more than that, but it's gonna
Somebody
be
at Microsoft-
significantly less.
Somebody at Microsoft gets paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to run these economics. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, we're speculating. I think they go exclusive on Elder Scrolls. They go exclusive on Doom. You get it on Games Pass. You can
I
get it
could
on
see
PC or you get it on Xbox, and you're just beat on Sony.
Doom,
Sony
I
has a
can
lot
see
of
being
really
a time
big exclusives.
exclusive.
They have to
See, a
compete
lot of
with
those I
that.
can
But
see.
that's the thing, but then now-
I can
now
see them being
you've-
timed, but yeah, you can't do. I don't think you can do the Elder
I don't
Scrolls
think
and the
you
Fallouts as
spend-
exclusives. You're losing too much money by doing
I don't
that.
think you spend $7.5 billion to go, hey, we're going to cut the potential sales of this game by 2/3.
No, it's by 1/3.
No, but well, yeah.
You get it
yeah,
on PC
could
and
be,
you get it on
Well,
Xbox.
that's still debatable because it would still be. Is it going to be a Microsoft Store exclusive or is it going to be on Steam too? Because if it's on Steam, they're going to see less of that money.
Yeah,
It would be on Steam.
It'll probably be on
I
Steam.
think they've had enough backlash from the Microsoft
Well, yeah, because
Store, especially
Microsoft
now
Store
that you saw-
sucks.
Especially now that you saw PSO2, Phantasy Star Online 2, move to Steam from the Microsoft Store. So
Yeah, but the Xbox app on you just get it through Games Pass. Like I think this is
No,
a
if you
huge.
get it through Games Pass, then who they don't care anyway. They're still
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
be making that. But
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a huge
I do
boon to
agree,
Games
but
Pass.
it's. I mean, shit, dude. How many PS4s fucking sold?
somebody brought this up to me. They were like, "What do you think would happen if Microsoft bought Nintendo?" Then you look at online. I think Nintendo is valued at $80 billion.
Yeah.
I don't think Microsoft is going to drop more than 10 times what they just dropped now to buy Nintendo.
Okay, so PlayStation 4 sold 112 million units.
It's one of the most sold consoles in history. Yes.
You're really gonna lose out on that market share.
I don't know. It would have to if that offsets.
How many
the
units
profits.
did the Xbox the entire last generation?
Because you could say the same. I mean, you can
How many did
argue.
they sell?
You can argue the same for like a PS4 exclusive. But I'm wondering what percentage of that profit would you want to see back?
Xbox One of any of them sold 50 million.
That's still a lot.
It literally sold, yeah, but it's still literally half of the PS4s that sold. Less than half.
I see them going exclusive. I'm gonna make my bet. I see a lot of these going exclusive.
I mean, I see some of them
I
going
see
exclusive, but
smaller titles.
I don't, yeah.
Smaller titles, yes.
But like
I think
the,
like a
the
game
big
like
ones, I don't
Deathloop,
think they
right?
can.
A game like Deathloop, if that had not been announced yet, if they had been still in development when they bought it, not announced, that would have become an exclusive.
That's
I
like
just don't see Elder Scrolls 6 being
That's like
exclusive.
Madden becomes exclusive. Why would you ever do that? Like, why would you ever take that cut?
I don't know, but I mean, if I were to buy them, I would make them all exclusive, like the big ones. I'd make Wolfenstein, Elder Scrolls, Fallout. Any new Fallout is gonna be fucking gigantic.
I can see Wolfenstein. I can see literally everything but Fallout and Elder Scrolls having at
I
least
can
timed
see
exclusives.
Pretty
But
much
Elder
everything,
like it's the Elder Scrolls and the Fallouts that it's just like they just sell too fucking
Yeah,
good.
Doom would be a game that I could see being a 1-year exclusive. Because then you get people who will double dip later. Not double dip, then you get the audience that has
And then
been
Doom's
either
still a really
waiting for
good.
it-
Doom's a really good console exclusive, but it's not like you have to. Everyone's gonna buy it, and I still
I need
feel that
massive
way about
support
most
for that game.
exclusives. I still haven't really honestly played an exclusive that's been like, oh baby, like everyone in the world needs to buy this game.
for Xbox.
The way I have about Skyrim.
Oh, Skyrim.
I mean, comparing Skyrim to like there's been a lot of really good exclusives for especially this last generation on PlayStation, but like
When does-
the importance of Skyrim when it came out versus the importance of Horizon Zero Dawn, for example, to me are on two different scales.
I think I would
When
change
does,
my opinion if we knew what type of money they would get from this deal. But just going off, say they get a 50% cut, I think they buy this to make Elder Scrolls, to make Fallout, and to make
mean,
Doom
dude,
exclusive.
When does Skyrim come to PS5?
But
That
you're
7.5
also
is a
forgetting-
lot of money.
You're forgetting there's and this is why I say the Elder Scrolls it's even on the fucking Switch. It's literally on everything.
Yeah.
You can play it on
like-
your Alexa.
Yeah, like it's just one of those levels of sales that it's just like you don't cut that into a portion. Sell it on everything.
Yeah, we'll see. I think they go exclusive.
2016 alone, it had already sold 30 million copies.
What Skyrim did?
Yeah.
Dude, you can get it on like calculators now. You can get it on your phone.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like a game of like that size, like I would not limit my sales in any way.
Yeah, this was a pretty big ballsy move. I wonder if they're gonna make any more acquisitions. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of cash to drop to buy
I'm
this.
actually trying to see how many were exactly sold on the 360, because that was the king console when it came out.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I'm
look
trying to
at
see if I can
360
find
and
like a breakdown.
look at 360. Yeah, see if you can find a breakdown. I would like to see that. I would like to see 360, One, and PC, because they would be able to dominate that space, and if that would offset the amount on
the
PS4.
360. I'm using 360 as that was the most people bought a 360 in that era, and then this era it's been everyone buys PS4. And we haven't seen if it's going to be PS5 or Xbox One to get that, like, what's the 60 40 70 30 split, you know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of. What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if I'm following.
I mean, the 360 outsold the PS3 by a fuck ton, and the PS4 outsold Xbox by almost double.
Right.
Like, so I'm basing it off of, well, okay, so this came out for the 360. If the 360 had a 70% market share at the time, that doesn't directly translate to this is what Microsoft would make it with the new next generation.
Oh, right. No, I'm wondering just like the
I'm
percentage
just trying to see what
breakdown.
that 70% split would.
Yeah,
equate to.
I'm curious of like where there's the total percentage breakdown of the sales,
Yeah.
where they fall.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Xbox already has 15 million monthly Game Pass users. That number will probably close to double the more games come out. Yeah, I mean that once I saw that Games Pass was
the lineup.
once I saw Games Pass was legit, like they're actually pushing it and it's legit, and they're
PC
doing it on
was
both.
I found PC. PC was 14%.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Between three systems. No.
Yeah, it's definitely a console dominated game, but that's still pretty big. I mean, I don't know anyone that plays Skyrim on PC either. It's mainly console, right?
I mean, if they would play it nowadays, I think they're playing it on Switch or PC just because mods.
Right. When did that game even
I'm not
release?
like rushing to break out my PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360.
It's just too old. That game is just too old.
Yeah.
It's just too old. All right.
Okay.
Moving on.
20. Okay, here we go. I only have sales for the first
Like the first
2
year.
days of the game. Cool. I only have sales for the first 2 days of the game's launch, which was 59% for the 360, 27% for the PS3, and 14% for PC.
59% for the what?
360.
So about 60%. That's not bad.
I mean, yeah, but that breaks down pretty evenly. Of that there were twice as many 360 sold as PS3s.
Yeah.
So if this game came out on the PS4, I would expect it to be 60% PS4, 30% Xbox One, Xbox X, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty even among the consoles. I think they go exclusive. That's my guess. I think they make
The
Elder
only way I
Scrolls
see them
exclusive.
going exclusive is if from the first 6 months they can tell they're actually going to have that 60% they're going to have that double lead.
I wonder.
Yeah, 'cause
what I
I'm
wonder
gonna
is if
sit
it
here
would
and
be
go-
economically beneficial to them for them to do that.
Like I said, I think the more obscure the title, the more chances of it being exclusive are.
I actually think the opposite. I actually think the opposite on that. I think you want to make the big names exclusives, and then like the evil within, sell it everywhere. Who cares?
It's funny, but that's like, I don't know, because that mindset of like making those games exclusive clashes with everything that's Phil Spencer and all of the other people at Microsoft have said about how they want people to play their games.
That is also true because they
just
they
feels
give a
like
shit about
anti
X.
what
They
they've
give
been
a shit
saying.
about xCloud. That's it, dude.
That would be like, that almost comes off as it would be hypocritical of them at that point.
Yeah,
To say those things about how we want people to play
xCloud.
software and then make these games all exclusive.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the reasons why I'm leaning towards not exclusive. Is just
I can
from
also
the word.
It's also
Maybe-
gonna
well,
go
maybe what they do
down
is they-
weird, too.
Maybe what they
It's
do is
like-
they just put it
it's-
on Games Pass, and then they're just like, and then it's everywhere, and then most people are just gonna be like, well, I want to play Doom, I want to play Fallout, I want to play Elder Scrolls. They're all $70 games. I get it with 1 year's of
And
Game Pass. I already get my money back on it.
yeah, and Microsoft gets all that money. Whereas
Right.
if
But
they
that's
decide
also
to sell it on PS5 or PS4, they're still making money on those game sales because they own the games.
yeah,
They own the
and merch
companies.
sales and
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah, all those sales, they're gonna make all that.
Yeah,
make
that's what
money
I
off
want
of
to
that.
see. I would love to know the
They're
percentage breakdown.
They're less of the mindset that, and I mean, this comes with just the territory of Sony going, we don't need to really worry. Why would we make these games not exclusive?
I mean, that's why
We're
they
not,
want.
they don't feel threatened.
That's
by
why they
Xbox
want
at all.
Epic. They want Epic to win, dude. They because they want to have xCloud on your iPhone. You know what I mean? So cool, you're about to buy Game Pass and you're gonna be playing Doom on your iPhone.
Yeah.
Like that's what they actually want. They don't care if it's on an Xbox.
I saw the Games Pass like special packages they sent to like a lot of the reviewers. They sent them like these special Games Pass mobile packages that came with a Note 20, 5G, and like a year of Games Pass, as well as the adapter thing for controllers. That's what Microsoft sent out for their like reviewers.
Yeah. Must be nice. I mean, I love the idea of
Microsoft,
playing
I could
console
use Note
games on your
20.
phone.
Microsoft, I'll take a Note 20.
Yeah.
I'll take one to sell.
Microsoft, if you're willing to send me an S Pen, that'd be nice because I lost mine.
You need an extra S Pen?
Yeah, and I don't want to pay $30 for it.
I can't wait to play Elder Scrolls fucking which one is it? 6 now? Elder Scrolls
Yeah,
6.
you'll see that in
of
like 3 years.
footage.
I can't
Yeah,
wait
it's
to
not
play
even
it
close.
on my iPhone
Ooh.
one day. That's gonna be a
I
fucking
wonder what
dream.
this means for Starfield.
Better. Yeah.
Because
I don't
that's going to be
know.
the next game that actually does come out.
Is that the next game?
It's farther along in development than Elder Scrolls 6 is.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be in the lineup.
That's going to be the real first game I think we see from Bethesda that tells us what Microsoft's plan is.
Yeah, maybe they push it back. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what this whole.
I want to wonder
debacle
how
is.
much like more money does this mean they have for development, for more resources,
Oh,
for maybe better quality.
I'm telling you, the Games Pass is gonna really open them up, man.
No. This is Bethesda.
It's not a bug; it's a feature.
Yes.
It just works. Trust me, it just works. Thanks, Todd.
You wanted NPCs in Fallout?
Jose says huge leverage with these games. Timed exclusives make the most sense.
I can see timed exclusive, but I still only see that for the smaller games, except for like those big ones.
Yeah,
Like,
like
if-
you
yeah,
said,
like
Doom
go-
makes
go-
the most sense for that kind of thing.
Yeah, but literally everything but Fallout and Elder Scrolls and maybe
Well, here's the thing.
Starfield makes sense for that.
You time exclusive it, and then in the year when you release it and all the DLC's also out, you sell it as a bundle, or you sell it with like the DLC already ready to go. So now you're making as much money as possible because you're selling the game again, as well as all the DLC that's done.
True.
All right, moving on. Nintendo files DMCA takedown on adult Princess Peach game that was being updated for 8 years.
This is the
This is
most
news?
one of the what the fuck
Peach's
stories I've ever seen. And it's
Peach's
just
Untold
hilarious.
Tale, a pornographic Princess Peach game. Going to the free adult games page will now greet you with a public DMCA message. The copyrighted works are Nintendo's characters and audiovisual works from its Super Mario video game franchise. Oh, there you go.
So I only bring this up because 1, it's what the fuck. 2, it's funny, and 3, and if you guys didn't know, Nintendo actually owns the rights to the 1970s Super Mario porn movies. They are officially licensed at this point because they, instead of, I guess in the 70s, they didn't have these DMCAs, so they just bought it
That's pretty
Dude.
funny.
in order to stop production. Of
I
it. Having said,
do-
they actually bought it,
As funny
which
as
means
it
they
is,
own
and
the
as much
rights
as
to it.
True. No, I mean, as funny as all of this is, and as much as I sometimes really hate Nintendo's policies, I do also have to give them sort of props because they don't fuck around, dude. They are like the only people like they. If you're talking about patent law, they are like the fucking gods of it.
Oh yeah,
Copyright
Absolutely.
law. You know what I mean?
yeah. They don't. They do not.
You
fuck
lose your
around.
you lose your copyright if you don't protect it, and they are the kings of abusing that loophole.
Mario will never enter the public domain.
No, even though, yeah, they had to make up platformers so everyone didn't call it a Mario game, so it couldn't get Kleenexed.
Oh yeah, it's like Frisbee. What other ones like that? Clorox. You mean bleach, but you say Clorox.
Band-Aid.
Coke for soda.
Band-Aid.
Band-Aid.
Q-tip.
Yeah, that's one thing. All the old people. You playing Mario, right? You got that new Mario.
You're playing
game.
Mario.
Grandma, it's Halo. Yeah, Mario.
I don't even think my grandma knew what a video game was, to be honest. Capcom confirms Monster Hunter. I skipped that Ori. Ori's coming out physical release. Pretty cool. Capcom confirms Monster Hunter Rise on Switch uses new RE engine. What is this? Resident Evil engine?
There was a Nintendo Mini. It was actually really good.
Yeah, it was actually.
I didn't
really
see
good.
what
They
notes?
announced-
New Monster Hunters.
Yeah, so they got it's Monster Hunter Stories 2, which is kind of like
Your
a
anime
more
waifus.
anime JRPG with Monster Hunter.
My girlfriend's
It was on
super
the
excited
3DS.
for it, basically. Yeah.
It was on the 3DS, and people apparently liked it on the 3DS. I never played it, but they're making a second one. For the Switch.
It's like how Pokemon had the dungeon crawler story game.
Oh, Mystery Dungeon, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
But
like
the real
it's more
star
in
of the
that
show-
vein. But then
the
there's
star
real
of the
Monster
show was
Hunter.
this. Was Monster Hunter Rise, which is a exclusive to Switch Monster Hunter game that is using the RE engine. The frame rate did not look great in the trailer.
And it
But,
didn't look that pretty, but it looked pretty enough. And I don't care. It's 3D Monster
for
Hunter
what's going to
single
be a
player.
handheld Monster Hunter, yeah.
Oh yeah, compared
But,
to the 3DS versions, this is amazing.
As somebody who never played Monster Hunter until World, and I really didn't care for World all that much because I thought it was really slow. Already in this trailer, they were showing like some crazy movement options. They were looking like it was a faster game, and I was looking.
Oh, you
going,
mean the
okay, I
combat?
might
The
get
combat
this.
itself is slow. Is that what you're saying? Not the
The
pacing?
combat movement was slow in World.
Where you're like
This
take a
game's already,
sword
like-
and you're just like swoosh.
Even just moving around the map feels slow. You just feel slow. This game, they've already shown that you have a mount you can ride, which makes movement faster. There's a grappling hook you can kind of use literally anywhere. More movement options and making the game faster is already a plus in my book.
Yeah. No, it looks. I'm excited to see more of it. I'm hyped to that.
Also,
That's
the
coming
setting looks cool because it's based on
Yeah.
like Japanese architecture and definitely Eastern influences, which is
If-
going to be cool.
If Loco was here, he would be a very happy boy.
Yeah, he's jumping for joy right now. In his
Like
spirit.
it's a new Monster Hunter game. They make great games. They're fun.
Yeah,
I'm
so
happy.
they
It's
said,
about time
they're-
Switch gets one.
They're saying that they're building upon the seamless exploration of Monster Hunter World. Players and monsters can move between areas without loading
Yeah,
screens.
and you could tell it's the same setting and kind of world as World.
Yeah,
That makes-
there's gonna be
that's a dumb
free
way to say it,
content
but yeah.
after launch, of course. Using the RE engine, they're gonna target for 30 frames per second. It's a little
Step
worrisome.
your bar
that it's
up a little bit, but
targeting
yeah.
for 30 frames. Like, can you just hit 30?
Can you stay at 30?
So it sounds like we're gonna be playing this thing at 20 FPS.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very fun actually.
Traditional but fresh experience, retains all of the DNA of the Monster Hunter series. Not considered a derivative or a spin-off title.
Okay.
So yeah, Monster Hunter Rise Up Gamers.
And then TGS presentation for Hyrule Warriors 2 will be 50 minutes long.
Oh lord.
Tw-
Well, I was going to
Saturday,
say also in
26th.
that Nintendo Direct, Rune Factory 4, 5.
Oh yeah,
What is
it?
Room Factory 5 got shown off and it looks super anime.
Rune Factory?
Yeah, dude, it's Stardew Valley,
Oh, okay.
But anime.
but anime. Yeah.
And
Well, isn't Stardew Valley
RPG
anime?
Stardew Valley anime.
I don't know. This is like.
I mean, I'm
we-
talking
yeah,
like
this
3D
is
anime.
this is Persona anime. Like this is anime,
yeah.
not 16-bit anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is waifu
But-
anime.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar.
I don't
with
care for the anime, but the actual mechanics and game mechanics of the Rune Factory games, if you like that Stardew Valley style farming bullshit and fighting, it has a lot more fighting in it. Fighting's much more important in it, and the mechanics in it are just great. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I don't know many fans of Rune Factory, but the ones I do know are like rabid fans. So they were popping off for this.
You know, if you like that Stardew kind of farming sim with fighting, like it's a great game to fall asleep with.
And then we have Hyrule Warriors.
Man, who fucking cares?
Is this
It's,
this
It's,
is
it's Hyrule Warriors. It's
Well, it's
Dynasty
Hyrule
Warriors.
Warriors.
that's what I was
2.
gonna ask. It's like Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
It's like Dynasty Warriors, but this
Why would it be
time,
50-minute long presentation?
That's what I want to know. What I am interested in this game is that it is a
They really milk Link, huh?
straight up prequel
Yes.
to Breath of the Wild. So it's going to be set 100 years in the past during the fighting with Calamity Ganon,
Yeah.
where the end of this game is going to be the champions all dying.
I did love
Spoiler, dude.
I did love how many people were like going crazy of like Breath of the Wild sequel. It's fucking Dynasty Warriors. It's not a
Well, it's a
sequel.
prequel. The sequel's still coming.
Prequel. Yeah, but no, I just
But,
saw
like,
when they announced it, I
wasn't
saw
15
everyone who
minutes?
didn't know what like this is the second Hyrule Warriors game.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, you don't understand that Hyrule Warriors is not Zelda.
No, it's
not.
Dynasty Warriors. This is what it is.
It's a Musu game.
Yeah, Moosey game. Yeah, that's what they're
Which,
called.
don't get me
Moosey
wrong,
games.
I think
It's
Musu
still-
games
it's still
are
a great
very
game.
fun. I
If
think
you like,
they're very...
yeah,
Yeah, they're great, mindless, turn your brain off action games. You want to feel like a badass and kill 10,000 enemies? Go right ahead.
if it wasn't COVID times, I would gladly hop on the bus downtown and like just chug this for 15 minutes on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I am interested in is seeing is like the fact that unlike Fire Emblem Warriors, which was, like I said, mechanically a fun game, but the story was non-existent. This is an actual Musu game with a story, and it's one of two Musu games we're supposedly getting, because there's also that Persona 5 Scramble, which is the Persona 5 sequel, but it's a Muso game. So more companies are taking a look at like the Dynasty Warriors, and going to Koei Tecmo, who makes Dynasty Warriors, and going, hey, make us a game set in our world that's a sequel or a prequel to our series, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, it's going to tell you how much a name brand will sell a game, even if it's not a direct, same game. Will this sell just because it says Breath of the Wild on it? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Just like Persona 5 Scramble will sell because it's got Persona 5 on it.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I need to check out the Royal one. I hear it's really fucking good.
I've heard a lot of people tell me that a lot of the problems that they had with vanilla Persona 5 were fixed in Royal.
Yeah.
A lot of
It's
the
almost
pacing
like a
issues
much
were
improved
better.
game.
I would love to put another 100 hours into it. I just don't have the time.
That's the thing. Do I want to do a whole nother Persona fucking...
I've got so many other games on my back burner that I want to play that it's like I'm not. I don't
None of them
really
are
feel
Witcher
like I
3,
have
so
to
they don't.
play.
None of them matter, 'cause none of them are Witcher 3, so...
Cyberpunk's coming, so
I was gonna say about Cyberpunk.
that's gonna be a game that I probably want to drop in.
The Cyberpunk, the game
500
you buy for the PC and spend like 1,000 hours
Dude, but you
on,
might
and
not
then you
like
buy the
it.
Switch.
Hold
Then you buy the
on.
Switch copy so you can
Hold
play it in
on.
bed.
I
Dude.
haven't put 1,000 hours into a game yet online. I'm at 938 in Apex. Okay, thank you.
You might not like Cyberpunk, dude.
You haven't ever done that though?
1,000?
Oh.
If we're talking about Pokemon,
Jerry
yes.
looks like, oh.
Yes,
I'm
I
like,
didn't
oh.
play World of Warcraft. I'm sorry.
I-
Actually,
that
Halo 3, I might
Warcraft-
have put 1,000.
I almost have 1,000 hours in
I
Smash.
feel like you have in at least Halo or something because I know if I
Halo
go back
on the
to old,
Xbox, I
I know
definitely put
Skyrim
1,000
saves.
in.
I have at least 600 hours on a single save.
If we're talking about Pokemon franchise, I mean, my Platinum had 500 hours in it. Yeah, I've definitely put 1,000 hours.
No,
into
we're
series
saying
of
the game.
Pokemon.
We're saying one game.
A
One
singular game. I think the only one has. It's
I
probably
could
Halo
see-
3.
It was gonna say it was gonna be Halo 3, but I could see that. I could. You're putting the hours in with Apex, and I see that being that game because I was sitting here like I've had WoW. I don't know, but it's years at this point.
Yeah.
But then I'm sitting here like,
Smash
but,
Brothers.
but then
as
I can
a
look at
series,
I can look
maybe?
at CS:GO.
I
when
was
it's
just
at
about to say.
2000.
Yeah, I definitely have over 1,000 hours in CS.
And then Path of Exile, yeah.
How much
But
do
at
you
the same
have in-
time,
how much do you have in
I'm also
Ultimate?
the asshole who I've always have a nice enough computer that I just literally leave games running. I have games running right now while I'm
I've
doing
done
the
that
show.
before too. Wayne, how much time have you put into Ultimate?
Oh, I'm nearing 1,000 for sure.
God, I think
Last
I've
time I
maybe
checked
put
was
in,
like 600.
I think I'm at like 150.
Yeah. Yeah, last time I
I
checked.
haven't touched that game. I actually haven't even touched. I haven't even touched Min Min yet. I haven't even downloaded Min Min. I just have had no interest in playing.
How do I
Ultimate.
find this out? 'Cause last time my friend texted me an image saying it showed him how
If
long
you
I
go
was
to
playing
your
the game.
home, I want to say it's you go to your home.
My
and then
page.
look at your profile. It'll tell you your games list.
All
that
right,
you've
let's
played.
What
see.
it-
I have
what's
735 hours on,
On the
Smash
Switch.
on Ultimate.
How much?
735.
Jesus fucking
Or it
Christ.
says 735 or more. So yeah, 735.
or more.
But that's also for me too. Though I also just 2000 in CS:GO because it takes fucking a potato can run it. So if
So
I'm
wait.
playing it that day, I just leave it open all night,
Yeah.
and then
Wait, when
come,
you
come back,
become a
do work, and
professional?
it's still open in the background.
When am I gonna go pro?
Yeah, when are you gonna go pro with that 735 hours?
I think I need another
when
735.
are you just gonna become a live streamer and just stream Smash and just be like, yeah, I'm playing viewers, but
I do want to start to. I don't.
only subs. They got a sub if you want to play.
I do want to take it a little bit more seriously, but I like already these 735 hours. I'm like, all right.
I'll wait till the next DLC character. If the next DLC character is like really interesting, I'll get back into it. But
I
right
love
now,
it, dude. I can
Min
play
just
right now.
Did not do it for me.
What was the next one
Apparently
after
a new
Min
character's
Min?
coming.
There was another one after Min Min.
No, Min Min's the first one of the season. We're still waiting on 2.
Oh right, who was before
Because of
Byleth or
COVID.
something? I think
Well,
Byleth
there's
was
6
before.
characters this season. Min Min was the first, but they already said like everything's getting delayed in Smash because of COVID.
Yeah.
But apparently, I saw something earlier. I didn't put it in news, but there was a posting that they're putting ads up for the Smash character, like for the like advertising the DLC pack in Japan. So people are thinking anywhere between now and October 4th, we should be getting a new DLC character announced.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay,
I'll be here.
It's been a while since Min Min. I think like it's been like 6 months.
I probably have
don't even know how
600 hours on Inkling alone. That's probably my guess on that. I'm a sick man when it comes to Smash. All right, moving on to
I've
tech.
earned $35 million in cash.
In CS cash?
CS:GO,
Jesus Christ.
just from rounds.
I probably have more hours in CS. I don't know if I have more in CS:GO, but maybe 1.6. I mean, I played that game
if you
years.
Count them all. Oh lord.
I played that
Well,
game.
no,
for
that's just what I mean. Is
years.
there's those shooter games and like Path of Exile and stuff where it's like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna come back to this every 3 months over 8 years. It's
Yeah.
gonna get up there.
It's sickening. And now I think Path of Exile is probably that next one for me. I've been playing that a lot too. All right, let's get into tech. We got some tech to jump into. Nvidia bought ARM. They acquired ARM for $40 billion. You thought $7.5 billion for Bethesda was a lot. Nvidia
no,
buys
not
ARM
compared to ARM, dude.
from
Now you're
SoftBank.
getting that Apple money, dude.
yeah.
No, not really, but
They buy it from SoftBank for $40 billion. They're probably going to run up against regulatory issues for monopoly problems or antitrust
well,
problems.
there's that, but it's also
It's just such a huge
ARM.
merger.
ARM itself for a while has also been holding up this sale because it's also in a really fucking weird spot where SoftBank bought it while it's SoftBank European division and the UK is completely clean, but that it has a Chinese division that was
Laundering money for drug cartels?
no, but there's usual Chinese.
Right.
Maybe we didn't find this patent legally kind of things going on.
Well, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So no, that was happening over like the last couple of years, and I don't think that's been completely resolved either. So that's kind of also crazy that Nvidia is just like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, they bought
That
this for
too.
$40 billion, and they're gonna spend a lot of money getting the deal done, and they're gonna spend
Yeah.
a lot of money putting it back into like doing something with ARM. So
Yes.
this is a huge acquisition for them. I think it's a smart acquisition for Nvidia. I'm curious what
they're
they do
allowed,
with it.
If they're allowed to go with it, dude, because there you go. There's your laptop competitor to Apple of the future.
Yeah. With Nvidia's GPU prowess, their enterprise
You want to see a good
prowess.
Switch?
Yeah. Oh my God. Can we please get a new Switch now with ARM Nvidia implemented? I am very curious to see if this goes through, when these things start to unravel. I wonder what the minutia of the deal is, like how much.
This is gonna take a while.
Yeah, I'm wondering how long does SoftBank claim the licensing? How does that work? Because SoftBank bought it for SoftBank was basically just ARM. They really didn't have too much
They-
going on.
Well, yes, but they didn't have full, complete control over it. They had majority stake, and I don't know if Nvidia just bought the majority stake or if they bought everything. Because also ARM itself is multi-division.
Right. I think they bought just the majority stake. I don't think they claimed the entire thing. But I do think that they have complete licensing over it. And it's just
That'll also be a great income maker too, just because
for sure.
a lot of things are going ARM.
Yeah, this is a huge acquisition for
It's not
Nvidia.
gonna replace. I don't think it's gonna replace your gaming desktop PC. To be honest, I'm not, it's not there yet. But like server infrastructure, just Internet of Things, laptops, anything small, or especially servers, because the issue that ARM still has at the moment is raw power. Basically, the way that they do raw power is shove 12 cores at it and have it compete with a 4-core, basically. They do super low power, more is better, and well, x86 you think of as more like less is more, but more power is better.
It's kind of opposite of how Nvidia kind of does it. I mean, they kind of
No,
have
because
like
Nvidia puts a fuck ton of CUDA cores and shaders and everything in it.
Yeah, they definitely do, but they also known for like innovating new tech and trying to utilize that new tech to kind of push it through, and then they just throw a bunch of power at it.
True.
I am curious to see how this kind of merger works, because I doubt they really get into any production with it. I think they're just gonna license it, right? That's kind of my.
I for now, yes. Whenever that deal goes through, but like 3 years down the line, I think that's the end goal. Is
messing around with it.
Yeah, like let's replace everything with an Nvidia CPU with a GPU attached to it, like AMD does.
Yeah, but like it's gonna be really cool to see kind of where this goes, and I think Nvidia having majority share over ARM is a much better proposition for enthusiasts than SoftBank having majority share over ARM. And you can argue that SoftBank's not going to do anything with it, so that's good that ARM can basically do whatever they want.
Yes,
but I kind of like Nvidia just kind of like
it depends on what type of enthusiast you are. Because I would say, sure, Nvidia will have more uses for it, for pushing it towards gamers, you know what I mean? But if you're actually thinking of ARM, if you're actually thinking of ARM, like they don't give a fuck about your gaming. Like that's not their market share. Their market share is like either small and fast, so like cars, things like that, or like, hey, they've been making some really cool servers, but the way they get competitive with servers is we can make a low power core, but we can have like fucking 300 of them.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that Nvidia's kind of in the mix now, rather than SoftBank, which is, I mean, they were just kind of just sitting on it.
So I mean, see, that's where I disagree. I don't think SoftBank was just really sitting on it. Like, that's why you're seeing really cool ARM servers. It just, none of it's consumer facing.
Yeah, true. I can see that. Nonetheless, it's a huge acquisition for Nvidia. We'll see if it goes through. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the regulatory holdups would be, but it's a gigantic sort of push, so we'll see if they run into any roadblocks. I don't really imagine so, because they kind of are two different markets, so it shouldn't really be too much of an issue. But
yes and no. For the most part, they're two different markets, but they're also, Nvidia's still part of the reason why Nvidia's acquiring ARM is Nvidia already licensed from ARM for some of its stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't. That could be an issue. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not a business lawyer when it comes to $40 billion mergers.
Yeah, it's
acquisitions.
The scope of it is just massive. But this is pretty fascinating. They also killed off SLI silently, sort of.
This has been a story every year for like the last 7 years. But yeah, dude.
Yeah. Basically, they claim they're just transitioning to native game integration, whatever you take that as what it is. But
Who actually bought an NVLink?
No, I'm not sure. It just never
I
worked
mean,
out.
okay,
It
okay.
never really.
SLI has some uses for productivity stuff, but
Productivity
like,
stuff and like mass just raw power stuff, I guess. You know, like the
um,
age of like the 4 1080 Ti's linked up or
yes, but also it's
980
mostly
Ti's.
depends on the software you're using it for, because some software will play nicely with it, and some will just
Well, a lot of
some people
software
literally
never
just
really
use them
worked
as
with it.
two GPUs,
Yeah.
not one GPU that is really two. That never actually really caught on
Yeah,
mostly.
and it never really kind of really took hold. I guess I wonder if Blender is the only thing I can kind of think of where you just need tons of power.
Hey, dude, my Bitcoin mining efficiency is so good.
Yeah. Yeah, would you even link that up for Bitcoin mining? I didn't even think you would link it. I don't even think that was SLI. It's just it's done. So SLI is pretty much over with. It's been slowly phased out. RIP, I guess. RIP those like that the age of like the 4 1080 Ti's, which is a cool the four Titans linked up. That was a cool scene at a time of opulence, but it's over now. All right, let's talk about this iPad Air. I love it. What do you think of the iPad Air, dude? Jerry's fixing his Red Wings flag there. Fell down in shame behind him. He's coming back. Don't worry. Getting his headphones on. Taking his time. Doing his thing. Oh, I do want to Central Park Piper. He asked, I'm building my own PC and I wanted to build it to handle 4K video editing as well as high-end gaming. Thinking about waiting for Intel Rocket Lake. Also considering AMD Threadripper. Any thoughts? See, the thing
What are you trying to do?
he's trying to build a PC to handle 4K video editing as well as high-end gaming. And he's asked, should he wait for Rocket Lake or should he go with Threadripper? I mean, I think
That's so hard because normally I would say yes, because Intel, you get quick sync and Intel does better at games, but who fucking knows? Because Intel's not in a good spot.
yeah, it's kind of a gamble. I do know that Intel, in terms of like new codecs, the new Rocket Lake stuff supposedly does do 10-bit 422 HEVC encoding. Supposedly, from what I've been reading, I haven't completely confirmed that yet. But that's what's rumored on the new Rocket Lake, which would help you out in the A7S3 and the R5 and whatever new HEVC codecs come out in the future. And then, yeah, like you said, Intel usually does better with gaming. But I mean, you can't really go wrong with AMD either right now. I mean,
I know, but the thing is, then it's also more expensive. You're going to have better performance in those two specific situations, but we'll
is it
see
worth
in the
the
rest.
yeah, and is it worth the price jump from
Right.
whatever AMD is going to release? Yeah, it's kind of tough. You really can't go wrong with either right now.
And when
It's
then
just-
isn't there new AMD stuff coming out pretty soon?
Yeah, yeah,
And
pretty
we'll
soon.
see how that goes too, because there's probably going to be new AMD graphics cards and CPUs real soon.
He goes, I will be using the new 3080, probably not the 3090. Well, I mean, that's going to help you in anything gaming. It's really, that's not
I
going to
mean,
help
it'll help.
you.
It'll help with a lot of rendering and stuff, just not HP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I'm wondering
That
if you're
yourself is not the
asking us,
proxy.
I'm wondering, are you asking us because you have an R5 or an A7S3? If
And
not,
those are really the only two things that it matters.
yeah,
or
any other
if-
camera would be fine.
Some Fuji codecs are you can do HEVC. Yeah, I don't know if I would necessarily completely wait for it, because my also second argument is I'm pretty sure even if you wait for it, if it's just purely for rendering speed, I'm still thinking
Threadripper or any Ryzen right now.
honestly, no. Honestly, right now I'm thinking, hey, dude, Apple's gonna put out a fucking $800 bullshit MacBook that's gonna beat all of them.
Yeah, but then you won't be able to game on it. That's the problem.
Oh no, I'm saying just build a gaming PC and then buy a MacBook for
It's a double the.
That's what I do. Instead of spending $2,000 on the PC, just spend $1,000 on it, get a kick-ass gaming PC, and then get a kick-ass rendering machine.
Yeah, and you can go that route too. The problem is right now is the codec. So if you're gonna get an R5, you have to deal with the 10-bit HEVC codec, which nothing runs it right now. There's just nothing. There's no chips right now that run it. There's no hardware that hardware encodes it. So you're gonna have to wait to see if Rocket Lake can do
Or
it.
just use the iPad and proxy it.
Yeah,
Which is the best.
yeah. You can proxy it. That's the proxy life sucks, but that's an option that you can go. And then the A7S3,
But that's what we're all doing.
And the A7S3, only the 120 4K is the HEVC 10-bit file 422 that has the problem. All the other codecs work fine. So it's kind of, that would be a better option for you in this scenario, unless otherwise you just proxy it, because the 10-bit 422 looks amazing. Yeah, and I understand. You probably don't want to go Mac, go PC, then you might just want to wait until you hear more about what Rocket Lake is doing. I wouldn't jump on it unless you need something right now.
If you were planning on stepping up to that codec, I would just wait.
Yeah, just see.
And also, who knows? Maybe AMD does better at it in a month. I don't know.
Yeah, we need to see what AMD's got coming. We need to see what codecs it supports, because it seems like it's a pretty tough codec anyway.
Basically, the only thing I do know is no one can actually do it yet, but a fucking iPad proxies it the fastest and actually renders it the fastest.
Yeah, in real time encodes it. And the iPad Air is only $800 and it's 11 inches. It's fucking awesome, and it will do it faster probably than the iPad Pro because it has a new X14 or A14 chip in there. I love this little thing. I love this little iPad, dude.
No, that's still the craziest thing to me is I'm sitting here with
thousands of dollars of hardware.
Yeah, and not even an iPad Pro. My fucking $100 iPad is faster than it when it comes to that footage.
It's crazy. Yeah, man, it's insane. I don't know what they're doing that's different either, because when I looked at, because I've been trying to figure out what new tech is going to be able to support this. I've been studying this for weeks now. I haven't gotten any leads. The only lead I have is that Rocket Lake may support it. We just don't have definitive answers on it. So just stay tuned and I'll have an answer for you on that. But what Apple does is they just do all of the sub-chroma sampling on 10-bit. So it's no worries. So 444, 422, 420. It's just if it's HEVC and 10-bit, it'll be able to encode it hardware accelerated, which is what allows you to do it in real time. Nothing else right now. And
right, that's
we'll see
why
too.
Right. That's why I'm sitting here and saying wait, because if there's rumors Apple wants to make an $800 laptop with that chip in it.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, I would just say then spend $2,000 on the gaming PC that will still crush pretty much most of your workflow, and then you have a specific tool for that specific codec, basically.
Yeah. And most Apple devices have really great displays, so you're going to get a color accurate display, and it's going to be nice. I know you probably hate Apple or whatever, PC Master Race for life or whatever.
And that's what I am. And I'm sitting here, I'm probably going to buy, well, no, I'm not actually really like a lot of Apple stuff, but I'm sitting here with a really nice, expensive as shit desktop computer, and my iPad still encodes that footage faster.
Yeah.
And it's the last model, just base iPad with an A10 in it.
Yeah.
And just it cost me $100 because I got LTE for free with Verizon.
And I'm very curious to see what this A14 does with that footage, because again, we only have the last generation of it. This is the first generation of Apple's new whatever that they're doing. So
Dude,
maybe it does it way faster.
Phone. My fucking 2-year-old phone encodes the footage faster than my fucking desktop.
He says, I don't hate Apple. I just don't like the crazy price they charge for the intervals that you receive. Yeah, I understand that. Definitely understand that. It's expensive, and
that's why I'm very interested in playing around more with LumaFusion and seeing how much I really like that life, and if I can just be fine with justifying an iPad. You know what I mean? To do
Well, also you got to remember,
most of that.
Final Cut Pro for the iPad is coming out. Like that is an actual product that's going to be released, and that will take advantage
also
of that.
true.
So that's something to
It's
keep
all
in
gonna be
mind
the
as
same
well.
now.
It's going to be pretty insane.
And you can actually use a fucking mouse on an iPad nowadays. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been like thinking is like, hey, that could be my cheap
Rendering
rendering machine. Is just like, yeah, dude, I'd like hook up a mouse to a iPad Air for $500 and
Yeah.
I'm done. You know what I mean?
And now with these cameras with USB-C, you don't even really need to take the card out. You can just plug them in and then just plug it into your iPad. It's a pretty good life. But, you know, that is going to, whatever, add on to your price if you're still planning on building a gaming rig. So it's something to think about. It's tough right now. That's a tough codec. So just stay tuned and I'll give you more info on Rocket Lake or whatever AMD has down the pike. I mean, AMD's new Radeon graphics card could possibly do it. We don't know. VCE is really bad, so I wouldn't expect it. NVIDIA might come down the line with some updates to it. Who knows? It's just something we're going to have to wait for. All right. Yeah, so new iPad looks sick. What do you think, Jared? Do you like it? Do you want one?
I'm like really split on it. I really want it and I really don't.
I think this kills the small iPad Pro. I could be wrong.
See, well, that's what I can't decide.
Yeah.
And I want to. That's where I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna wait for actual, you know, benchmarks and stuff like that, because there's reasons where I'm like, okay, I'd still really prefer the iPad Pro, but then at the same time, there's reasons I don't. I would say, yeah, just go with the Air.
Yeah.
Just that 120 hertz screen losing out, that sucks.
You know, I don't really notice it too much, honestly. You notice it, but I will say, like, when I go from the iPhone to the iPad, I don't notice it too much. But I am curious to know, like, what the next iPad Pro is going to bring that's going to be better than what... Because this is basically an iPad Pro, the small version of an iPad Pro without that refresh rate. So I'm wondering, like, what else would justify that jump in price? And A14X isn't enough, I think, to justify whatever price they're going to charge for the Pro. I love how they got rid of those big bezels on the side, and they just made it look like an iPad Pro. It's smaller.
No, I do like that. It's just one of those, like, would I rather spend the extra $200 for the extra storage and the better screen?
Yeah.
It's like really
True.
what it comes down to.
Yeah.
If you don't need the 120 hertz screen, this thing's amazing. Actually,
Yeah. This thing fucking is pretty damn
but
cool.
I'm still waiting on benchmarks because I think it's gonna be better and worse. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just it's gonna be beefier because it's an A14, but
How
also
much beefier than the
right?
whatever
But
the
then
last one
it's
was.
gonna be beefier for daily use, but it's also got a potential to not have those. Not have all the extra graphics cores.
Yeah.
It's only got half of the cores of the Pro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and that would make a difference for sure. Yeah, I'm curious to see more on it. I will say that the 12.9 inch is too big. So definitely next iPad I get is going to be this small version. All right, moving on. Oh, yeah, you want to talk about the Apple Watch. So you dig it? You like the SE version?
I mean, yeah, I'm interested. I've never wanted an Apple Watch just because I think they're too expensive for what they would personally bring me.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start making a cheaper one, that's when I started getting a little bit more interested.
And I think the only thing you lose out on with the SE is the always on screen. I don't really-
which I don't care about that a ton. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you're maybe it's a weaker chip. That's about it. You know, $300
Yeah,
bucks and you have an Apple Watch. I mean, they're nice looking, and
it's still
they're
got
fucking
most of the
sick.
things. Like, see, that's the thing is like 279. That's more in the realm of I'm interested because for a while it was like, cool, it's $600 for me to give me another goddamn notification because that's something I both love and really hate about Apple is like, cool, you got a text message and my phone in front of me goes off and my iPad goes off and I'll get a message in the corner going off and then I'm gonna also have one on my wrist going off telling me, cool, someone texted me, thanks. Like,
I will say having the Apple Watch cleans the notifications up tremendously. It's nice. It's basically a notification machine.
I mean,
that's all. It really
I do
is.
hope that, but it's like, again, it's still also one of those things where it's like,
Do you want
especially
notifications
especially with
always?
the quarantine, it's like, yeah, the person I text the most is my girlfriend, who I live with, and we never leave the house.
Yeah, then you wouldn't really
Like-
get much out of it.
Right.
It's
So,
not much.
and well, that was the thing. Like the feature I always like the most out of any of those is I do like the fitness tracking. That's always nice. I used to have Fitbits because I enjoyed them. But the thing, all of them, the feature I miss the most is the stupid vibration of waking up. And
Oh,
like
yeah?
the second wake up alarm, and it's like cool. If I can think about a $280 rechargeable alarm, but I'm not gonna buy a $600 rechargeable alarm.
I do like the 6. I think it brings some nice upgrades. Like the blood oxygen monitoring is fucking insane. And then the sleep tracking is pretty cool. I'm probably not going to upgrade to it. One of the biggest things to me was the always on display, just so it looks like you're wearing a watch. But
Yeah, that's fair, but I don't care about that as much.
yeah.
What I'm very curious about is the SE going to have better battery life because of that, or do they shrink the battery so it's equal?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look
Because
at
I
benchmarks.
would sacrifice it looking cool if I didn't have to charge it as much
Yeah.
any day.
I get about a full day on it. Maybe I get more than a full day on it. If I don't charge it at night and when I take it off to go to bed and I wake up, I get about a quarter to a half of a day before I have to charge it. So it goes through a full day. Usually take it off put it on the charger at night, and then it's your alarm. But
Yeah, but I would do the opposite probably, honestly.
when you go to bed.
Yeah.
Well, that's the sleep tracking thing. Like I'm wondering how much better the battery is when you're sleeping with it, which is pretty nuts.
True.
But that's on the 6. That I don't think that stuff is on the SC.
No, the sleep tracking is, yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
No, and
rad.
that's why I'm interested in it. It's like it has all of the features that were actually cool. I mean, it's got all the Fitbit features, which are the features I like,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's actually more affordable, and it skips out on the weird crap I don't care about.
Yeah, and it is pretty affordable. Is it $300? Let me see here. Yeah, $279 for $279 for the aluminum with the loop.
I love micro HDMI, dude.
Yeah, I haven't had problems with mine yet. Knock on wood. I don't have an extra one either. If that one breaks, I have to fucking buy them. All right.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to switch this one out. I found out when I had it unplugged that my cat started chewing this one.
Oh, very nice. All right, now we have to get into the 3080.
Oh, we do.
Oh,
And
God.
also, have you seen the leaks for the Pixel?
A few weeks
Yeah,
ago.
it looks kind of good.
Pixel
dude.
5, is it? Are we on
I
the Pixel
kind of
5?
like it. I'm probably not gonna buy it, but I really, if I were to switch back, I do miss my Pixel sometimes. But
Yeah,
I'm
sometimes
not
I long
interested in buying a phone.
Sometimes I think about Android. I'm like, Android does have a lot of nice things about it, but then I don't know if I'm gonna get a Pixel.
If I were to go back to
This
Android,
does look
I'd
pretty
go
nice.
Pixel.
Yeah, me too. I think I would too. I don't think I would go OnePlus.
I do really. I love the first edition, dude, so much.
Yeah. Plus, they always have badass cameras.
Yeah, not for. I want to see if they improve the video. So that was always the thing is
The video is kind of lacking.
for video they sucked, but for stills they stomped the shit out of anything.
Yeah.
And it's mostly just because of software.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what. Hopefully, they just focused on video on this one. So I think most people are taking a lot more videos now. Now it supports 4K 60. That's pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I want to see the back. There we go. This is the back here. See these pixel leaks? I'm pretty sure Google leaks them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
They still got a
I
weird
mean-
chin on it, at least from this leak. Unless
Like a tiny one? I don't really see it.
and this photo here is like a weird little chin.
I mean, I would
I don't
probably,
hate it. I don't hate it. That's for sure.
Part of me wants to just go and buy a Pixel 4a or something just to dick around with again.
Just to have
honestly.
Android.
Yeah, and then switch back to my iPhone again, probably. But like, I do miss swapping. I just don't feel like swapping it in this economy.
I did use my Samsung as like a secondary phone for a little bit. Didn't have service on it, but when I had Wi-Fi, And it was nice to have Android on the side, but I was mainly just like pretty much get everything done on the iPhone. And then I was just like, I don't need this around anymore. All right, so we got the 3080 here. Benchmarks have been released. It's nearing double the performance of the.
It's a pretty fucking good card.
Yeah, they really pulled out all the stops there. It's nearing double the performance of last generation's 2080 Ti.
And if you are Gamers Nexus, it's even worse.
Of course.
And hey, like I told you, it's a blower card. Fuck it.
Yeah. Why, is it not good on thermals?
I mean, I'm assuming not, dude. There's never in the history been a fucking blower card that is good at thermals. If it's the only ones that have ever been good at thermals have also been like 80 decibels.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You can't have one fan and it actually do good, in my opinion. And if they did figure it out, awesome. I'm still not gonna buy a blower fan card.
There's two fans. There's two fans on it.
There is a second fan.
Yeah, it's like a sandwich.
I still just hate the look, dude. I don't.
I actually disagree. I think it looks really good.
I don't.
I think now that it's been released and they're putting it in builds, I think
it's too like
I like
future techy.
I think it's kind of modern.
I still have to finish the Gamers Nexus video. I haven't watched it all the way through, unfortunately. I got to like screw number 20 and gave up because I always bought Founder Edition cards to water cool.
Yeah.
But like,
supposedly this one's a lot easier.
I don't want to do
up.
that anywhere more because I don't want to rip out 3 million screws.
No, supposedly this
like
one's a
5% perform, like not even 5%, like 2% performance.
Yeah, that I'm not sure like how it overclocks yet, but I know it opens up pretty easily. But it's, I mean, I probably wouldn't do anything with it. I'd probably just fucking keep it stock and just, it's pretty fucking badass. And now I'm coming from a 1080, so
it does look kind of cool. I do give it that.
I personally like it.
The top, like the side you would actually see. I actually do like that.
Yeah, I actually like the design a lot. I like it a lot more than what Radeon's doing too.
I hate the weird fins.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Not the fins on the side. The fins on the side, like in the center part.
No, I know
can
what you
fuck
mean.
with that.
You
But
mean like the perforations
near the fan? Yeah, along with like the X. It looks like something that would go alongside the Xbox 360.
Yeah, I actually don't mind it too much. I like more like just like the aluminum sort of side plate, and it's just kind of clean. And I also like the performance out of it compared to the 1080. I look at it, I'm like, oh my god, I'm missing out on so much performance.
No, that's the thing. That's what's so fucking wild about this is because you weren't missing out on performance beforehand.
Well, yeah,
now
you
actually are.
Yeah.
That was why the 2060s and 2080s and all of that suck.
Yeah, they were kind of a little lackluster.
I tried to not buy one. I only bought one because my graphics card finally died.
Yeah, you were in need of one. I have some of these benchmarks.
I'm probably definitely going to buy a 3080 or a 3070 for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to 3080.
Give this one to Kate.
I think I'm going to go
or put it in my second PC. Or
yeah, do a
I
streaming
have
rig.
uses.
I'm going to put the 1080 in the streaming rig and then put the 3080. I don't think I'm going to go 3090 as much as my heart tells me I should. I'm not going to.
No, I'm not.
I'm just curious to like how much more performance is that going to bring? Like I really want to see some benchmarks for the 3090.
Oh, probably a ton. And dude, it's also because
I just keep thinking about Cyberpunk.
I can't do that, dude. I moved to fucking Georgia, dude. I'm not putting a 700 watt graphics card in my fucking room.
I just keep thinking about Cyberpunk, and I just want all the ray tracing on. I want all the fucking little details all on max. I want to
and I want to do it at 8K. I don't want to install an air conditioner just in my office.
I want to do it all in 8K, and I'm just like, should I just for that one game? I probably won't though. I'm probably just gonna go.
The last 2 days have finally been 70, and I've never been happier in my life.
Yeah, it actually was so nice that I had the window open. Yeah, it's been nice out. It was actually cold.
I can't even have the window open because I got a cat, dude. He'll just jump out.
Yeah, these are pretty badass cards. The problem is you can't get them right now. No. So
dude, even the 3070s As much as the story has been the 3080, and I'm really happy with it. The 3070 is like that card makes me so happy.
Yeah, is
Like it
it
makes me so genuinely happy because I still want to live in the world of your
the 70?
your 980 Ti is like $450 and it's the best bang in the world. And we're now back to a $500 undercard being better than last generation. That makes me so happy.
Yeah. Yeah, the 70s, the 970 era was so fucking dominant. I think the 970 is still the most popular card, right? According to Steam statistics, I think the 970 still reigns supreme. But
Yeah, but I mean, like, dude,
but now it's gonna be the
980 Ti
3070.
was this amazing car, and it was $450. I wanted that to be the high end again. The 370 should be the high end card. Fight me.
Oh, I think the 3070 is gonna be the new 970. I think it's gonna sell like insane. It's that next
and I mean, we're still
generational
waiting
leap.
on a 3060 too,
The thing is, I don't think we're ever gonna
which
see.
Gigabytes teased. No, Gigabytes teased the 3060 and a mid between 3070 3060.
Would you consider that 3060?
Maybe,
Yeah, I
but I mean, I think that card it will be more popular than the 3070.
yeah, probably.
But same time, like the 3070 and the 3080, like, oh baby.
Building a crypto mining rig, wonder if you could use that for everything. Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's economically viable. You'd have to check like whatever the hash rate
Probably
is.
not.
Yeah, whatever the hash rate is right now, but your best bet right now is finding like maybe just waiting for like the 3060 and buying like 20 of them. So this card's coming out. It's been sold out immediately. You can't get it anywhere. You're probably not gonna be able to get them until October. I'm gonna try to get them as soon as possible. I tried to get it on the release date, but I was a little too slow. And then I was just like, I'll just fucking wait until they're easier to get. I'm not dealing with pre-orders again. They're fucking so annoying. But I do want one, hopefully before Cyberpunk is released. And then we also got rumors of the 6900 XT from Radeon, which I think looks like complete shit compared to the 3080. But they got some pretty big claims here. Some of them were claiming, I think I read somewhere they're claiming more performance than the 3080. We'll see what that is.
More. It's gonna. I mean, they priced it down to it's so 70, 3070.
Yeah.
It's
And
gonna
they're
be better
claiming more
3070.
performance than the 30.
I also think it looks worse, but I think the design also instills me with more confidence than a blower cooler.
Yeah, that's triple fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I always want Red to do good, so we have more competition. But like that 3070 and that 3080 go.
It's going to be really tough to beat.
And it will. I will say the thing that sounds interesting is
They price it at 3070 and it can do 3080 performance, and then it's competitive.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like the thing though is they were talking. I've seen the rumors at least are putting it at about 550, which is like if you're gonna make it more expensive than a 3070, it better be punching that the 3080 weight.
Yeah, exactly. And if that's true,
and if it actually does,
that's pretty competitive.
And it actually has the ray tracing bullshit that no games support.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Are they claiming it's going to do ray tracing?
For all of these cards, if you're actually buying them for RTX or DLSS, don't.
Nah. I think
Still,
that
I mean,
I think that's not true anymore. I think DLSS is becoming.
I totally think it's true.
I mean, I think DLSS is becoming
The
pretty ubiquitous.
the only game, the RTX and DLSS have been out for 2 years, 2.5 years now. The only game I still have on my fucking computer that has either of these two technologies is Minecraft.
If you're gonna get Cyberpunk, you're gonna get, I don't know, the Duty games that come out. You'll be able to use it for that. Well, I mean,
World of Warcraft. WoW Shadowlands is going to have RTX. That's the only.
There you go. There's another one.
That is literally the only game that has been like, oh, cool, I have RTX, and then you turn RTX on and you go from 140 frames per second to like 40.
They were also showcasing another game with RTX, like a new one, and it looked really fucking good. I don't remember what it
Yeah.
was.
So, but my point is, RTX is still the future. Like ray tracing in general is still the future. I'm not sold RTX and AMD is going to win because AMD is also going to have the benefit of, hey, every single AAA game ever makes their stuff first for AMD hardware
For
because of
console, you're saying?
consoles. Right. So they're always usually going to have a slight optimization when it comes to AAA stuff.
It says go to
So, like,
Micro Center if you want it release day. February will be the month they have steady stock from projections.
yeah, I can see that.
February? Damn. So I missed out tough then.
Oh no, go to Micro Center, dude. Micro Center will be able to hook you up usually.
Last time I got the 1080 there on release day at Micro Center. I'm wondering when they're gonna restock.
Micro Center's pretty fucking great.
It's the best. It's so amazing having one near me and also so terrible at the same time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. No, like that's how I always go monitor shopping. Is just like,
Going to their vast array of monitors in the back.
well, it's that so you can actually look at them. But I used to also have a buddy who worked at one, and I'd always know when they were getting their stock in, including when the stock was coming from the back of refurbs, returns, and clearance, and open box. So you used to just do that and then just go get an open box monitor for fucking half of the price, and it hasn't even been used.
Yeah, Micro Center rocks. Yeah, so all right, those are the graphics cards. Canon R5C, R5S rumors have been announced. Now, these are not quite something you should take into account. So Canon
don't believe these at all, to be honest.
Well, Canon Watch posted this. Canon rumors came out and said, I'm skeptical. The EOS R video sounds a lot like the EOS C50, which is
they don't make sense at all to me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm still rocking Fuji at the moment, and they're coming out with a new camera and next month. That also makes no sense to me. So hey,
yeah, nothing really makes sense right now.
I mean, the camera it actually makes sense. They're coming out with makes sense. It sounds a lot like an XT40 with IBIS and a flippy screen, but they're calling it a new name, and everyone's sitting here like, all right, so we now have the XT4 and the XT3 and the XT30 and an XE3 and an X Pro 4 and this new XS10 all around the same fucking price.
Yeah, they're all marginally the same camera.
Yeah, like...
yeah, I don't understand. It's very confusing, Fuji lineup. This is also odd. They're claiming there's an EOS R video, which would have the same sensor technology as the R5, which would be full frame, do 8K, records 4K 120, does 2.8K super sampling in Super 35 mode. They say take it with a grain of salt. And then there's another rumor about an EOS high resolution camera, which would be
I would put more stock into,
like an
'cause I
EOS
could see them
RS
actually
or
doing that.
something.
Right, because I mean you always had the 5DS.
Well, the only reason why I would say this doesn't make sense is because there is a C50 and a C70 that
No,
is
I'm saying
coming
the
out.
high resolution photo stills camera. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm saying that the video doesn't make sense, but it would.
No, the video makes this literally. I mean, it would be like. Don't get me wrong. If this camera actually comes out, hell yeah, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like that's sick. But the other rumors are saying they're gonna release a C200 for $3,200.
Yeah, which is crazy because this one is supposed to be 12 megapixels. It's supposed to basically compete with the A7S III. Maybe they do it. I don't know.
Which would also again be really cool. But isn't that what the C200 for $3,200 is supposed to be?
Yeah, that's essentially what Canon rumors are saying. It sounds a lot like the C50, but that's a Super 35 camera. This would be a full frame sensor.
And that is the downside of Cine World, I guess. You know what I mean? But if that's why that C50 makes a lot of sense to me, and at the same time doesn't.
Well, what's curious is like, what if Canon rumors got it wrong? What if it is a full frame? What if they are both full frame cinema cameras?
Oh, that'd be fucking nutty then, dude. Then I think you would be you wouldn't. You're a hybrid user.
I mean,
if I would have bought an R5, I would be hella pissed. Just because I'm a mostly video person.
I would buy one as well. I would definitely run out of fucking and get one immediately. But the reason why I asked that is
But if
because
I bought an R5 mostly for video, like I was considering with the R6, I would be hella pissed.
well, the reason why I asked that is because there's no RF mount crop lenses, so it
And I
wouldn't
agree.
make
That's why
sense to release a camera that's Super 35 and RF mount where you don't have lenses to go with it. So that's why I'm wondering, like, maybe it is full frame, and maybe this EOS RC is the C50 or C70, and maybe they both got it wrong in some weird way.
I mean, that would be a really cool surprise.
That would be
But
crazy. That would be
also
fucking
doubt
insane.
it, because then that would mean they're releasing a Cinecam cheaper than
Full frame cheaper than their full frame cine.
the C300.
Yeah.
Well, cheaper than that. Cheaper than the C300.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which also doesn't. Well, it could make sense, but doesn't make sense. It depends on the features. But if it's gonna have, because the rumors are it has the same sensor, so that doesn't add up either.
Well, we're about to find out in a couple of days. We'll have our answer.
Well,
what
that
is
will be
true.
the answer for the C70. I don't hold any stock yet.
Well, that's what I'm
into,
saying. I don't
RC,
think this RC is a real thing.
unless it comes out like maybe in a year,
Yeah.
maybe next year or something at the same time. Maybe then it'll have stock, but like anytime soon, it would be really cool. I would probably buy one. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, me either. But we'll have our answers for the C70, C50, which I am very curious to see. Which we have information we didn't cover on last week because we weren't here, but this is what it's gonna look like. Which looks fucking awesome. I think it looks great. It looks like a big ass fucking Blackmagic Pocket square with a little vent on
dude,
it.
it looks like a beefier 1DC, and that's all.
Yeah, it
I
looks like
wanted
that
in
too.
life.
Yeah, it looks like a beefier 1DC. And
It's
from this
literally all I've
hinge,
ever wanted in life.
this hinge looks like a flip screen, which
Well,
is one of my
I wanted
words.
that in full frame, but yes, that's why I'm now mad at you, because it's not going to be full frame, and you've put that thought in my head.
Full frame, yeah. Yeah, full frame would be nice, but I think they would also make it fucking $12,000. That
I
said,
would still consider paying it if it was actually in that body size.
that said, this is a pretty fucking cool little camera. I just can't wait to see it. Like, I want to see it. I'm not the biggest fan of like these. Just like, this is what it looks like. I want to see it moving and in someone's hand, because I can't really tell. Like,
I mean, dude, it's a Panasonic SH1
yeah, fat boy.
or S1H. I always mess that up.
It looks about double the size of that though, of the S1H, from what I can tell.
No, it looks beefier, but it's looking like that kind of size of like, no, here's a proper mini Cinecam
Yeah, I'm
with a fan.
I can't wait to see what the fuck this is gonna bring. Yeah, I really want to see the C50 too. That's the one that I really want to see. All right, moving on. We also got Sony rumors. So here's some crazy ones. Updated wild rumors. Sony 8K E-mount camera in early 2021 and Sony A7 IV in summer 2021. What? Next year we're going to get the A7 IV, which would come with a bigger body, 3.68 million EVF, 1.4 LCD, newly developed 30 megapixel sensor, 4K 60 with no overheating, dual SD card and Type A card slots like what you have in the S3. New menu system from the S3, 5-axis in-body stabilization, and that would come in at $2,500. Probably going to be around what is it? A 30 megapixel sensor. Yes, 30 megapixel sensor. What is the
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, that would be interesting.
about a 6K sensor.
I'm wondering if they're going to put a fan in it, or if they're going to do something special, because if they're claiming that it will never overheat, the juice from Panasonic was the reason why their 24 megapixel camera does crop 60 is anything over 20 megapixels, 4K 60 and up starts having a really hard time with
Yeah.
heat. Like 20 megapixels is the wall, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's just physics. I imagine that this new fucking... what's crazy to me is they can do this. Like, it was crazy with the S3. It's going to be even crazier if they can do it with a 30 megapixel sensor. But the fact that it's also an IBIS sensor, so it's not housed to anything. How are they getting the heat off of that correctly. But
The hopefully with the slightly bigger body that is a little bit more than slightly bigger.
yeah, I'm very curious to see how this works. I bet they do it though.
I mean, I definitely bet they do it and try.
Maybe
and
they
it
just
would be
do it in
really cool
HEVC 10-bit 422.
if it's actually quarter 3.
That's the problem in
it was
next
sooner.
year. Yeah, next year is pretty late, and then that's a guesstimate. So
And I
who
also
knows?
like the weirder thing with all of these is like we're in quarter 3 right now. I doubt you have the pricing set a year in advance, especially in a pandemic.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I would expect to see it next year, probably by holiday, and I would say 2,500 makes sense, but that is a guess.
It makes sense, but like it's
It is a guess. It's not. I
Yeah.
wouldn't put much weight on that.
or I did see when this first came out, they were
And Sony Rumors is
correctly
bad at
calling a lot
pricing,
of-
as we saw with the A7C.
huh? Sorry, say what? say
Sony
it again.
Rumors is pretty bad at pricing, as we saw with the A7C.
Yeah.
They were
But-
like
well, also they were-
definitively more than
No,
21.
Sony Alpha Rumors when this first came out, because I was watching their Discord too. No, they were coming out and just like, this is all bullshit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they posted it. That's why it's a wild rumor.
Wild
they were
rumor.
just sitting here like, this is clickbait.
Oh, interesting.
But they posted 9 hours edited ago as a featured comment that I still doubt some of this and the price, but I finally found the person who originally submitted this rumor, and they have been correct about some Olympus and Sigma rumors in the past.
Okay.
So there could be an element of truth to this, but also maybe
But what's interesting
Yeah.
is the 8K one, trying to
still
go after
don't
the
care.
R5.
I still don't care. I know you've been having fun with it. I don't fucking care.
I have not been having fun with it. I mean, it looks nice, but
Yeah,
it's not fun. It's the complete opposite of fun. But it does look fucking insane. So
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely it's stunning, like resolution wise.
It's fucking crazy.
But
it's not fun in any sense of the word. But it is interesting that Sony would even kind of go that route. I guess I honestly think just Sony is just doing, because here's our last story. Sony posted this from the website Nikkei, and 3 points. Sony's goal with the A7C is to attract new customers, particularly from the DSLR and APS-C world. Sony believes the mirrorless market has bottomed out and the market will stop shrinking. Sony believes they will be number one in the market as DSLR sales are expected to shrink further the coming years. So Sony is really gunning for Canon's top spot in the top ILC range, which is basically dominated by DSLRs and the like of those type of cameras. Sony wants to siphon all of those users who are finally starting to make their way into mirrorless by just giving them like super cheap, feature-rich products that might not necessarily produce the best image, but doesn't really matter because they just want to get them in the door into E-mount. And then there's a swath of cameras they can choose from, and they don't have to worry about what lenses they have. They all just work with each other. It's a really smart business plan. Is
It
is
is,
is
but,
the
like-
A7C going to do that? I'm not sure.
that's it's a fine but boring camera. But I think if that was your goal, that's where you drop an RP.
Yeah, like something like $1,000.
Right, because like that, if you're trying to get someone to choose full frame over APS-C, price is usually going to play a factor, and that's why they're staying APS-C.
Yeah, that's a main factor. Yeah, the lenses are
well,
cheaper.
that
The bodies
and
are cheaper.
Size,
The size,
that size, all of that, and the RP. That's why the RP did kind of well to an extent. Such
Yeah.
as video, it's gotten a little better. I still kind of want one, but I don't.
yeah,
But like no, because the RP it's a smaller R, it's a smaller body. It's still not this, so that's why I think they did this. The even smaller A6000 size body, which is I don't like it personally, but I know why some people would.
yeah. I mean, I like the camera.
I
don't
think it's
know.
still just. I think it's too expensive. If it was like the Nikon S5, if it was close priced like that, I think you could have a compelling option.
Yeah, Z5. I think
Or Z5, yeah.
I think the same exact thing. I think in order for them to do this siphon from the APS-C realm, it needs to be cheaper. And they need to do. I mean, I don't. I just. It's weird to me because you have the entire A6000 line, which is like that's what that was supposed to be for. That's what you're supposed to siphon those people from. But I guess they're trying to push everything full frame now. Canon's going that route as well, which is interesting.
They're not. I don't think they are entirely. That's part of the pricing. They're not galvanizing the APS-C line because, I mean, crap. Right now in P&H, you can get an A66,000 for like $1,100.
Yeah, but that's why I find this statement odd. Why they would say that? You know what I mean? Why they're saying they're using the A7C to siphon APS-C users when it's like you dominate that space with fucking 10 different A6000s and they all do really well. Like I know fucking like 5 people off the top of my head that own A6000s in some weird range.
And Fuji is better than all of them.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting statement to make. And that's kind of what I'm wondering, like, are they trying to push full frame so they can get that full frame glass money? I'm not sure.
Well, no, and that's what I was thinking they were going to try to do, and that's why I think Canon started trying to do that with the R, because Canon obviously wants to kill EFM.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's definitely getting killed.
But like, they're probably not going to do the D90 off yet because they still want to keep EF going for a bit. But you're not going to get new glass for it, and probably.
Yeah,
or not a lot.
And and there are rumors of an RF crop coming, but I kind of don't see why. I don't see why they would do that when you can get an RP for $1,000, unless you want to go cheaper, unless you want to get a market that's $500 and.
Well, no, that's what I'm thinking too. Is like, an XT, you can get a Fuji XT3 for $100
Yeah.
Like, if the Fuji XT3 is $1,000, you can go pick up the XT200 if you're trying to get into it. I've been finding them for like $300 fucking bucks. Like, if you're getting into that like APS-C world, you can find a lot of really cheap, good cameras.
Yeah.
And then that's why I'm sitting here like, Canon was kind of doing it right, but not right because the cameras.
No, they were.
They're doing it right on the price point with the RP. The problem is every camera around there, if you didn't care about it being full frame, was a vastly better camera.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting market. There's so much, because I think like if the RP just had like one feature, like allowing autofocus in 4K, then it's like a no-brainer. You know what I mean? You don't need to do 4K 60. It doesn't need to do it. It's just 4K 24, 4K 30. Give it autofocus. Let it work with the lenses that you put on it. And then it's fine. You don't need the IBIS. You don't need the best fucking dynamic range on it. And then you have the R if you want to jump up and get a 10-bit image. And then you have the R5 and R6 when you want to get deeper into it.
Right. And then that's why I think Nikon's trying to do that too. And I think they priced the Z5 pretty appropriately there too, of like 14, hey, sales will probably eventually start hitting 12, you know what I mean? That's that like mark, like they need to compete with like a 90D. Yeah. Like that level of APS-C is where I think like that's the high end, getting into the high end of APS-C like range for most your average Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like otherwise, like what? And then crap, dude. If you're like sitting there with like just going off of video quality, it's like crap. I can spend $1,000 and get 4K 60 like on an XT3.
Yeah.
Or I can sit with just 24 8-bit. But it's full frame.
But it's full frame.
Like, so that, like, that's a more realistic argument to me when it's like, cool, you have a $1,000 camera or a $1,400 or $1,200 camera. But when it's $1,000 versus $1,800, that's like
Yeah, it's
You're paying twice. You're paying twice the price. You get full frame, but you losing on everything else.
it's an interesting segment of the market.
Now, also since it's Sony, though, who knows, dude? If we hit Black Friday and the A7Cs slashed to $1,500 or something, then you're getting into that ballpark that I'm arguing that they need to get into.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good price point for that camera. I think that'd be a great price point for the S5 as well, around that price point.
Yeah, I
I
if
know
it
you
ever
like it a
got
lot
that
more
cheap,
than I do. I know you
if
like
it
that
ever
camera a
got
lot
that cheap, I'd buy it instantly, dude.
more. Yeah.
Like the image quality on the camera is too good to.
Yeah, it looks great.
I'll put up with the autofocus. I don't give a shit.
It looks great. No way. It needs new autofocus in it for 2,000
Oh no, I know,
bucks.
but I'm just saying if it's suddenly
If it's 15,
like
like 1500.
if it's suddenly like 15, 14, like oh yeah, dude, I don't give a shit, dude. It's in black magic at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you got into a full frame, and you can pretty much just do whatever you want with it.
The only downside with that is they just don't have any cheap glass.
Well, that's the downside to any full frame, and I think that's why they're all pushing
Well,
full frame
and
now.
Panasonic more so though, because like with Canon, you have a couple of cheap options in the RF mount, but you can just get the EF adapter in. EF's 20 years old. You can find
You find a
lot
couple.
of really good cheap EF glass.
Yeah, you can find a couple.
And it's the same thing with Sony. You can find a lot of really cheap Sony glass that's pretty good, or used Sony glass that's real cheap.
Yeah. But once you start comparing it to like APS-C, it's night and day. It's so much cheaper, especially when we get to like used market. It's just interesting how they expect to like.
Well, and especially it also depends on which used market too, because Canon's by far the cheapest.
Sony's
but then
pretty cheap
Sony's
too.
pretty close. Yeah.
Sick-
But then
and then it's-
Fuji's still you're getting half off on your body, but you're paying full frame glass price.
Yeah. You have me thinking now about that Canon film body now over the R5. Oh, the C70. Well, you're gonna hear about it in a couple of days, and then you'll have your answer. I would only get the R5 if you're hybrid. If you want to shoot photos. If you don't shoot photos, then don't get it. There's literally no point. You can get the C50 or C70, or you get the S3 and have.
Oh no, that's why I'm
Perfect camera.
buying this. I just want a cine cam.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I already got a fantastic stills cam. Like, but at the same time, R6 is in a really nice spot.
Yeah, I think the
R6
R6 is shaped up to be really nice. I was really
Well,
salty.
I also want to keep. I'm not gonna give them full credit. They still got to keep really hammering out the firmware. But like,
It's a much better spot than when it initially released. It's pretty fucking
it's getting
competitive.
there.
For what you get, oh man, it's insane.
If you actually give it C-Log 3 and you like
But
keep improving that overheating, like because my sweet spot is still give me a 20 megapixel sensor that's more than enough for what I personally need for photo, but also not going overboard to sacrifice noise performance in low light. It's a really good spot.
Yeah.
Plus, you can still do.
Do you do that, or
oversampling
do
at
you
that
wait for
point.
the A7 IV?
I would probably do that over waiting, because if we're expecting the A7 IV to be the same thing,
But yeah, by next year.
it would depend on.
You could always sell it. I mean, Canon's always they hold their value pretty well. If you ever want.
I mean,
to
yeah,
switch,
you could always
just
sell it, but at the same time, like, if they're going to be comparable enough cameras, I don't care.
Yeah, I would probably go RF
Like,
mount
I'm
over
personally not brand loyal enough to really care, like, if it's a Sony or a Canon or a Fuji or etc. Like, if they're both about the same fucking camera, I don't care. I'll just buy the one that is available to me the soonest.
that. Yeah,
Which who knows? At this point, it might actually be the Sony.
I'd probably stick with RF mount over that, personally.
I probably
Unless-
would do just because of EF. Actually,
Unless
I'm still a slut for EF, dude.
yeah, I mean EF's dope too. You get all of that shit.
Like,
E-mount's
I
cool
mean,
too, but
I was making really good glass, but like I always try to get. When I sold all of my cameras, I still kept half of the EF glass because like, you can put it on fucking anything. It's a 42 millimeter flange. It literally will adapt to any camera made in the next 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they plan on supporting it for a long time.
So like that's got a lot of nice benefits to it.
Yeah.
And then that's also why it's like, yeah, just buy your Cine glasses EF. You can put it on your Sony E-body Cinecam. You can put it on your Canon Cinecam. You can put it on your Fuji Cinecam. Doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what these C50 and C70 are. It's so much fun camera stuff, man.
Yeah,
It's such a good market.
I'm excited to see those.
There's really not a camera that you can go wrong with right now at any price point. You pretty much get everything you want. Everyone does flip screens now. Everyone's doing IBIS now. Oh, it's a beautiful market.
Yeah. They're all getting there. It is a really good market. They all still
From
also
where
have like
from where it was, dude,
true.
everything's a fucking dream right now.
Well, I mean, we're finally getting to the point where like everything has basically.
Now we're just
a
nitpicking.
flaw.
Like, do we get 420 or 422, or do we get 444 for full chroma subsampling?
Well, that is where I could nitpick. It's just like, come on, just put 10-bit on everything already.
That's where we're at now. We're nitpicking on like
Sony's
subsampling.
A7C is saying otherwise.
Yeah, but that's a different price point. You know, you can step
Now
up.
when a Fuji X-T3 for $1,000's got it.
Yeah, but that's a different system altogether. You know, it's like any price point.
I agree, but when you also say, okay, so it's priced the exact same price as the Canon EOS R, which can still do 10-bit, but admittedly external, but it can at least do it external. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say that would be my biggest nitpick, or is like, okay, everyone else at that price range can at least do it external or can do it. Just why?
Yeah, I mean, right now, if you need to choose a camera, it's really just about like what system, what mount do you want to stick with, and what are like your must-have features, and then you can find like a price point to kind of fit in. You really don't have to go full frame. Dude, you know what I mean?
True, and then October 15th, we're probably gonna see $1,000 Fuji cam with IBIS and probably the same fucking sensor.
Yeah,
as they've all been. So you're gonna have an XT3 or an XT30, XT4, X Pro 3 with IBIS for $1,000.
Yeah, and then if you
but
want,
probably only 4K24, 4K30.
Yeah, there's just so many, and they all have flip screens. They're all gonna have IBIS.
And that one will have a flip screen, dude. I think fingers crossed. I just know it has IBIS.
Yeah, it should have it. I wouldn't expect them to put it on there, not to put it on there. That's the price point where you kind of want to put a flip screen on there. You know what I mean?
Central Park Piper is bringing it up too. I agree. And this is my problem with the A7C. It's the biggest problem is if it was $1,500, I'd probably buy it. I don't have that big of a problem with it being 8-bit. It's more just I am a Fuji land user. So I look at that camera and I go, cool, Sony body, it's really small and they managed to shrink it more, and now I'm gonna want to go wildlife birding.
The problem with
my full frame camera, and the lens is going to be 8 times the size of the fucking camera.
The problem with the A7C that I think
if I stick a 24 to 70 on it, it's gonna just tip over any tripod ever.
Yeah, but it's just like it's not really meant for like a prosumer. It's really just like it's like an RP. It's a little bit more expensive than an RP, but
true. But the RP at least won't tip over if you put a 24 to 70 on it.
Yeah, but you also get full frame 4K. You get the IBIS in there. You get the flip screen. Impressive. You get a really amazing autofocus system. It's kind of just like a foolproof.
No, I agree. It is really great. I just hate the body. I hate the ergonomics and the.
Well, there's a lot of people that like really hate that camera. Like a lot of Sony users I see that really hate the cameras. It's like it's not really for you. You know what I mean? It's not really for someone that's looking for a video camera, like a pro video camera. Because I don't think you're ever gonna.
I agree with that, but even as someone who likes, I'm in Fuji world. I own 2 Fuji cameras, so I obviously have something about a rangefinder style or a traditional, cool looking like a fake ripoff Canon AE1 that does give me a hard on. But I like it at the reason why I like this size is it's like cool. It's APS-C. The glass is pretty small. It actually, all of the glass is 35 mil size. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once you start sticking a full frame glass onto it, like,
dude, you haven't lived
I
the
don't
life.
want to do that. Hell no, dude.
You haven't lived the life where you put a full frame G Master on an A6000. Like Sony doesn't care about
I'm not trying to do that, dude.
Sony really doesn't care about like balance or ergonomics. They're just like, here's what we can do in the smallest form factor possible, and they've been making it much more consumer focused. That's why the A7S III was just like, holy shit, like this is legit like a cinema camera. And
I do that sometimes with some of my EF glass. It's horribly unbalanced. I stick a fucking EF 80 to 200 on this fucking thing, and the lens is 4 times the size. You know what I mean? It sucks, but I already had it.
Yeah.
But would I ever go out of my way to sit here and go like, yeah, no, that's what I want to buy now.
Yeah, and I think, and I would argue, like, there's no reason for you to upgrade to that from what you have, because it's not really an upgrade, unless you really wanted full frame, and you wanted it at the cheapest price.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to throw that out there for people who are coming from an APS-C size body and don't know how big a full frame body normally is, or just even the A7 III body, it's still kind of small. I mean, I'll put it this way: an A7 III body is like half of the size of a D90 or 90D.
Yeah, all Sonys are.
And then
bad.
when you start
ergonomics,
when you start throwing glass that's about 3 times bigger for the same size glass that you would have on APS-C, it's gonna feel weird, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the AF on terrible compared to the rest of their offerings. Are you talking about the A7C? I don't think it's terrible. I think it looks pretty good. I like the A7C. I probably would never buy it. I would have bought it 2-3 years ago when we were talking about it last time. If that camera would have came out 2-3 years ago, I would have jumped.
Here's your no mirror sneak preview. This is all we said.
Yeah, we would have bought it 2-3 years ago, but in today's market, there's just really no point unless you don't have.
There's a point if you
don't have a camera.
Want that body? I mean, like it really depends on what you're trying to do with it too. Like if you're just trying to sit there and be like, hey, I'm gonna be a fake Fuji user. I'm just gonna slap a Sigma 35 on it and go to town. It's a fine size body for that. Just never try to stick a big zoom on it. You're gonna hate your life.
I don't even really mind the body. It's more so the feature set on it. It really just doesn't.
That too, it's boring.
Yeah,
it's a 7.3, dude.
Yeah, I mean the body is honestly, because I've lived the Sony life. They've always been terribly unbalanced, and maybe I'm just used to that pain.
I mean, I'm used to that pain sometimes too, and that's why I'm just saying, like, hey man, if you have the option to not do it, maybe don't do it.
Yeah, like going out when I was hiking with the R5 with the 2470, it's a heavy rig, but like it's balanced. It just feels nice, and like it is nice to have a nice feeling camera. There's a reason why ergonomics play a big role in cameras.
It does, and that's just why it's a little boring for me. Is like this isn't the A7 III again where there wasn't competition. Yeah. Now you have Canon with stiff competition. If you want to go smaller, you can go Fuji with stiff competition. You have stiff competition from Sony themselves because it's still an A7 III. Like,
yeah, that was my
Panasonic
point.
S5 is still fucking fantastic. So you actually have the options to, if you don't want a ergonomic small body, you don't have to have one.
Yeah, and that was my point. Like, this market is insane. There's so many good offerings, and like. Before it's like
still haven't even seen the FX6 though.
You're gonna get an FX6?
Probably not, but like I am so hyped for that FX6 like C70 battle.
I'm curious if it comes in around like 6,000 and competes against the C70. That's gonna be fun.
Dude, you know 100% they're literally going to do the same thing they did with the FX9 and market a cent less.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting cinema market. Like. It's crazy. None of these options existed only a few years ago, And now they just kind of flooded the market with them because everyone was like, look, this is what we want. We want flip screens. We want IBIS. We want good autofocus. We want some dynamic range. And we want 10-bit. And then they were just like, oh, just dump it on you. Panasonic didn't give it to you for fucking $2,000 without autofocus. Sony's going to give it to you. And
they don't have autofocus, but they're going to give you the best dynamic range and probably image quality at the price.
Yeah, they're going to give you the best price for what the camera is. They're going to give you the best price. Canon's just going to give you, in my opinion, the best,
but at a higher price.
At a higher price, they're going to give you just the best offering, and then Sony's going to kind of fit somewhere in the middle there.
And that's where I was really hoping that. I hate this camera, dude.
Well, you were hoping this was the A7 IV.
Right, I wanted to say, hey, okay, cool. Here's the A7 IV that actually competes with the R6.
Yeah.
Instead of a 7 III, because if you're just gonna release a 7 III, like, let me buy it for $1,200.
Yeah, and I'd argue the EOS R is probably the best option at that price.
Well, yeah, that's hey, dude, it's just making use the EOS R prices real cheap.
Yeah, if you can get an EOS R for like $1,300, I think.
You're getting really close to that.
Unless you don't want Canon, unless you don't like Canon, you don't want RF mount. That's a real tough price to beat for that camera. It's such a. I mean, I still use that camera all the time. I love the USR. But that was the thing. Is like that market. That was that market.
Argument too for the 7 III. You can find real cheap 7 IIIs too.
Yeah. All right, let's close it up. That's it for the show. Good show. Lots and lots of topics. Lots of talk. Next week, same time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We're coming at you. 2.5 hours. We're going to try to maybe change the show up. I want to get some different segments. I want to do different segments. I think this style of segment is we've kind of run its course on it. What do you think we do? Like, we do a couple different segments, and we try to streamline it. Maybe we do like a quick game review preview segment, another segment just for news. We kind of combine both gaming and tech news, and then maybe we do like a discussion or something at the end. Something to kind of change up the format, keep it flowing a little bit better. So I'm gonna try to think of some different things we can do.
I would say we probably should cut out the camera stuff, but no.
We could do that and just keep it on no mirror.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, no, because I always kind of want to talk about camera bullshit.
We could do more no mirrors. That's the thing. I mean, we have a no mirror coming up for the C70 release, which is going to be in a couple days.
I probably will consider doing one for the Fuji just because I probably won't buy it, but like,
no,
I'll probably still buy it.
Any sort of like interesting. I mean, there was like ProMist stuff that came out today or whatever.
Yeah, that was really kind of cool, but also kind of just why.
I mean, I just love Moment, so I might consider buying it just because Moment makes it. I already have a ProMist filter. That's how I was kind
of feeling, but it was also like, okay, so it's cool. It's a cool ProMist. Like,
yeah, that's all it is. That's all it really is. But I already have a ProMist, and I still might even buy it just because it's $50. It's from Moment. It's like a
cool, cheaper ProMist. Well, it depends on your filter thread size.
Yeah, it's around the same price. They didn't. Yeah. It's kind of the same exact thing. But now they offer one. Now there's not just ProMist. Now there's Moment Cinema Bloom, I think is what they called it. And it looks great. Like from the videos that I saw, it does look like a great blooming feature. Let's see if they do all the other fun little filter stuff. I think that's a great market for Moment. Love what that company's doing. They're doing bags. They're doing filters. They're starting to sell cameras there. You can get your S3 pre-order there. They're becoming a really fun company to kind of just keep in your bookmarks. So, yeah, there's always like fun little stuff like that. Maybe we should just like kind of, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll play with the format a bit. I'm going to get out of here. Love you all. Every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Hit up our website, nolife.digital. And, yeah, man. Yes, you says computers. Yeah, we'll do more computer stuff. I'm going to be getting 3080 soon. Yes. I'll be doing a build on that. That'll be fun. Maybe I'll benchmark it if you want. Or not benchmark it, overclock it if you want. It's been a long time since I've overclocked a GPU. I think my 1080 is sitting at a whopping 200 to plus 200 on the memory clock. That's about it. Big time overclocker here. And I do want to water block my computer. So maybe that's something I'll do in the future. But yeah, if you guys like this stuff, stay tuned.
It's a lot easier than you think it is.
Yeah, I want to do a nice little fun little hardline build soon. I just have to buy everything for it, and I just haven't had the motivation to do it yet.
Yeah, that's.
It's nothing really, just aesthetics and quiet.
I can't tell you what to buy for that because that's such a personal choice. But water cooling's, I think it's a lot of fun because it's literally the like, yeah, you could spend $200 or you could spend like 2,000
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, that's the thing. I went to Micro Center not too long ago, and I was like, let me look at the blocks here and the water pipes, and I was like, I can get really deep into this. I can literally go nuts. And I do have the O11 dynamic, which will make it really fun to do.
Oh, there you go.
It's
I
really just an
fucking love that
aesthetic
case.
and quiet thing. I don't even really care about the performance too much. All right, guys.
It just looks pretty.
Should I do neon pink fluid? Strawberry milk fluid? I was thinking doing that. Decisions. All right, everyone.